One. All right. Should
Hello,
be live.
everybody.
Hey, everybody. Another week, another fucking creator spotlight. This week we got FallingSun on. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is FallingSun. I mainly am here because of a fic I wrote recently called Bodhisattva. Weird whiny fic. I was forced here by a friend of mine. Thank you, Swan. And thanks you guys for having me on.
Hey, it's not a problem at all, buddy. You write good shit, and that means you're going to be on this show.
Yeah, we kind of just run around and grab everybody that's writing and say you. Pick them up and throw them into the chair. It's a good time. It's a good time for us. Hopefully it'll be a good time for you as well. So,
Indeed.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
yeah. Well, I think we'll start out with one of our usual questions, that being, how long have you been writing for?
Well, I started as kind of in the summer actually. I like to consider myself pretty babyface when it comes to the whole One Day Snoot community. Um, I initially started as a one-shot joke because I decided, no one's done this yet. A lot of people are telling me to give it a try, at least, something like it. And I had an idea in my head. So I decided to do a one shot, which ended up being like a 10K one shot or whatever. I did that in like one day, and it was pretty exhausting to write, and it was terrible. It was really bad, hindsight 2020, but it kind of laid a foundation that I kind of springboarded off and developed into the current story that is Bodhisattva to this day.
Nice. And you
So
said that
you're
was over the summer, right?
About early June,
Mm.
maybe, yeah, early June, late May.
so you're a recent writer,
Yeah, pretty new onto the field.
but as we spoke earlier before we went live, Mike, you said that you do a lot of other things.
Yeah, I initially before I do a lot of little art pieces, nothing too serious, but I do a little bit of art doodles. I do a lot of sprite edits. Those are more or less is I create scenes that you might actually as close as a one-to-one as you can get from either Snoot or Wani. Um, I have a lot for I think Arlok mentioned this in the past for um what's it called? Ghost in the Snoot.
Oh,
I have
yes.
there's a big collection that I have of those in a Discord server that we're in. What else? And yeah, it's the art, the sprite edits, the writing, and video editing. I think that's where it is.
Multi-talented artist. You'll love to see it.
Fingers in a lot of pots. That's for sure. Well, we can touch some more on a little bit of that stuff later. And if you at any point you want me to show off anything during the stream, you can feel free to DM it to me. I can throw it up on the big old TV there. But,
Yeah, I think most certainly we'll if we get to a point maybe later on we'll cycle through a few.
okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Now, you also said that you were pretty recent into the Snoot and Wani fandom. When did that happen, and how did it happen?
Well, I originally became aware of Wani when I about December of last year. I had a friend. You've probably seen around. It's Ryan Gosling holding up Olivia, and she's hugging him and everything. And I knew the premise of the name of I Want to Hug That Gator. And I actually ironically set it as my profile picture for a while without knowing what it was. And the person who sent it got really mad at me. It's like, you don't even know what that is. I was like, I have hugged that gator. And I didn't even know what the significance of it was. And for a while, that kind of just died off eventually until about sometime in late May. I saw some more Wani stuff from the same guy, and I kind of poked fun at him. I was like, you know what? I'm a little curious. What is this I Wani Hug the Skater? And this whole kind of thing goes back a long ways for me. About 2014, I really got into fanfic. Five Nights at Freddy's was my gateway drug. I will openly admit that. It's a gateway drug for thousands and thousands of people, and it was mine. And I read fanfic adamantly. Every day I gorge this shit. I love fanfic. I've read millions upon millions of words. I've read million word fanfics, in fact. And basically I was like, well, you know what? Let's see if there's any good fanfic. And I haven't even played either game yet. I didn't even know what Snoot was yet. And then I found a fic called Nothing to Something. And then that got me started, and I just kind of went down the line of hits. So Inco noted that whole series, the Inco Co I forgot what it's called. The sister fic, the Nothing to Something. One called All It Takes, one in the chamber, all the big names, and even a lot of little ones. I was there for it. I basically any series fic with substance in the Snoop Wanty community, I read it and just gobbled it up. So from there, it just kind of snowballed into me getting into the fic, and eventually, I eventually played both games, and here we are.
Here we are indeed.
That is interesting. That you're the first person that's had that kind of journey. A lot of people are usually like, "Oh, I saw Wani on Steam," and I was like, "Yeah, Gator."
Started with the fanfics. That's a fun one. I like it a lot.
So that's going to make the actual discussion of the games, I feel like, a bit more interesting, since you're going to have ideas of these characters going into it prior, right?
Yeah. It was certainly very interesting playing. I played Wani first, and it's interesting seeing what I already knew and had in my head of who is Olivia, who is Inko, and seeing them actually portrayed by the writers of the games. And I think it's very interesting. I think obviously there are some writing quirks that individual writers do a little bit better than the game writers, but for the purposes of communicating a meaningful story, the game does a great job at it.
And so, okay.
If I had to pick one of the two, I feel that, and this is going to be a bit of a spicy take, given that I write a Wani fanfic. I feel that I like the happenings of Snoot Game more than I do Wani.
Okay. We've had quite the spectrum when it comes to guests on the show and which one they prefer. So now it would be one thing if everybody was like Wani's better, and then you came out. But yeah, no, Snoot Game has its merits for sure.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things I feel like where, since Snoot Game, this is not a dig at Wani like costing money or anything, but Snoot Game was like, I think, literally a passion project. Not to say Wani isn't, of course, but it was it was free, made by a bunch of dudes who came together and were like, let's make some fucking cool shit. And that's all passion, and you can feel it in the writing and the art and everything. So
it's certainly there, and it went through a lot less development hell, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It had way less growing pains than Wani did.
You know, I actually recently came across the original, I think 2022 release trailer for Wani, and what a difference it is. It's like the Sonic movie, you know, and instead, but you know, the community didn't bully it to non-existence. It's just there's just a bunch of internal stuff that happened where they realize, hey, we probably should give this a bit of a shakeup.
Mhm.
Mia.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
The arachnid.
I'm gonna be 100% here. I know that there was a lot of troubles that went through with Wani. I still haven't looked at like all of like the documentation regarding all that. All I know is that like certain characters are on the shit list, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the polite way to put it.
Yeah, but well, I guess let's talk a little bit about the games themselves. We can start with Snoot since that was the one that you had preference to. How did when you were playing through Snoot, kind of like how did you go through it? Because I'm especially interested in your perspective on it. Like I said, given you came in with preconceptions for the characters based off of the fics.
I hated Fang with a passion.
Oh, okay.
Not how she was written. She was written so well that I hated her.
Hmm.
Because to her, I tried to put myself in Anon's mind. I tried to be Anon. I tried to channel myself. I did not like her. But as the story progresses, you kind of see, like the rooftop scene. You're kind of like, okay, maybe this whole bad girl thing is, you know, just a kind of mask sort of deal. You see the cracks, you see who Fang really is underneath everything. And you kind of see, given with E3, how sometimes if she sheds that whole Fang thing, it just feels like she's not the same person that Anon fell in love with. Um, and I like to not like Fang at the earlier parts of the game. But as the story progresses, it really kind of peels off the emotional onion of who she is, who they are. And especially with how each ending can happen. I know some people say E1's a little extreme, and I kind of get that, but I also kind of understand their basis of it happening too.
Mm.
Um, E2, I think someone said, I think it was Caveanon or someone else said that if Anon wasn't there, E2 was the natural progression of things for how Fang would end up. So, and Anon as a character, he's like Gordon Freeman to me, which is a weird comparison, but here's where I'm going. Is both are the player's vessel or Frisk from Undertale. They are all the player's vessel. The player chooses how they manipulate the world through that character. They can decide what they want to happen. Do they want the genocide run? Do they want E1? Do they want the best ending that they could possibly achieve? You know? So, and this kind of applies for Inko as well. I like that, in those stories you have a choice. I like the ability of choice.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Choice is always a good thing, as long as it's handled correctly, right? Because you've got games and stories where they allow you to have choice, but it's ultimately meaningless and really doesn't have much of an effect. It feels like you're doing something, but you're not, right?
Yeah, the non-choice.
But yeah, no. I can definitely understand that mentality when it comes to Inko, especially given that he is more uh what's the right term, more of a blank slate than Anon, because
Right.
even throughout Snoot game I always thought that Anon had a very clear voice to him, a very clear personality, and it was more so the player kind of shifting his priorities, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think.
Whereas,
Oops,
go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think how it is with Inko to a degree is like he is more malleable, and to a weird sense. Now you're mentioning it, an idea of a fic just came into my head, and I'm writing this down on a piece of paper along the side. Um, but no, it's very true. Is that Anon? Anon is a person that we kind of change the mindset of, well, Inko is more of the person who we control.
Mm-hmm. And I think part of that is kind of shown, given that the difference in the endings, right? I mean, obviously, there's quite a range of stuff that happens in each of the endings, but when you look at Anon and his endings, they all feel kind of like the same hymn, just different flavors, you know? Whereas when you look at Wani's endings, Oneko feels like a completely different person from like E2 Inko or E3 or E4, right?
You're right.
It's very interesting with regards to Oneko, and I've seen a green text about this, and it's so well pointed out that I subscribe to it, is that I believe in the Oneko is crazy and on pills headcanon. That's the headcanon I believe in, because I think there is a scene where in the green text they have Damien punch Oneko, and like a thing of pill, like an empty pill container falls out of his jacket or something like that.
Oh yeah, I've seen that green.
And that was a good green. And you know what? That's a little extra justification that I understand didn't really need to be in the story, but as a headcanon, I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. We've been pilling our Inko.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of things you could say about Ben, but
Yeah,
that's just
that's
another.
a whole nother it's a conversation we can get into, but it's a whole nother conversation.
Actually, that is such a funny point you bring up, and I have to mention this. It is hilarious. When I first got into the community, when I was reading fanfics before I play the game, I was reading this and I put out a thing. I put out a line of text into the Discord I was in, I think Snoop Club.
Mhm.
And I said, "Hey guys, I got like a running headcanon. I think Ben's crazy." And everyone in chat was like, yeah? No duh.
And this was before you had played the games.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, right on the money, baby.
And so that's just something you came to conclusion to just through the fanfics, without it being like explicitly said, I suppose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Well, hey, that's just the sign of a good writer, I think.
It
Yeah.
was a pretty good shorter fic. I can't remember. It was pretty good though. I think it was like some kind of E2 or something. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. What's so to swirl it back to the Snoot stuff real quick, what was like the order you got of the endings?
Oh boy, this is what determines the men from the boys. I started with E3. I
Okay.
started with E3 because I kind of was a dick at first, but I was like, okay, she's pretty cool. Let's be
Right.
nice. Be nice. E3, E2, E1, and I saved E4 for last.
Yeah, I would say that that's a pretty good way to go through it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty normal.
I think I went, what was it? 4, 1, 2, 3. So that was
See, that's just an emotional roller coaster because it's like I like with E1 to E4, you're like, this is as bad as it can be. And
yep.
then you go like, this is as amazing as it can be.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
psychopath, so I did 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, you're fucking psychotic. Yeah, no, I came to Snoot after Wani, so I kind of already knew, okay, E1's gonna be like the fucking worst. I happened to get E4 on my first go. Let's just go ahead and rip off this bandage. And then half the school was dead. So that was not that was not too great.
Yeah.
All right.
Not at all.
For Wani,
Mhm.
it was 2, 3, 4, 1.
Okay.
Purely because it was an issue of time. I kind of had to rush. I think I forgot. I made a wrong choice. No, it was the Ben choice or something. I think I messed up the Ben choice.
Yeah, that'll get you.
And I was shooting for E4 and I fumbled the ball, coach. I'm sorry.
Laid it straight into the E2, baby. Yeah, it's
Bummer.
look, as long as you didn't push the gator down on your first go, it's I don't think it's too bad, all right?
It says a lot about who you are as a person, in my opinion.
We got some E1 heads, dog, who got E1 as their first one. I've seen it more than once.
Yeah, and they probably feel like shit too because they're like, "Oh man, this sucks real bad."
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think E2, I think of the favorite ending, so I know everyone's like, yay, E4. And it's canon, and I'm happy they're canon, but in a weird kind of way, I kind of like the open-endedness of both E3s to a certain degree. I'm not saying they're the best, I think they are far from the best, but I like the sort of open-endedness of, ooh, what can happen? Bonds took advantage of Snoot E3. Hopefully, there might be a version of Bonds for Wani E3 looking at a certain person in the chat. But no, I think I do very much like the E4s, E3s. And I think when we get to the point of talking about Bodhisattva itself, the story behind its conception will certainly be interesting.
Right on, right on. I know I can say when it comes to my favorite endings, I think for Snoot, I gotta go with E4 just because E3 has this weird like aura to it that I do not jive with. And then when it comes to Wani, definitely E3. I love the shit out of E3.
Yeah, because it made you cry.
Yeah.
Blubber like a little baby.
Yeah, I was blubbering and shit, dog. That hurt. Hurt good.
I don't know. I don't know what my favorite endings are. I always have to think about it from both games, and I don't really think I can pick a favorite ending. Honestly. I mean, I could like say the obvious, haha, Jake Parade joke. Yeah, E1s are my favorite. Fuck yeah, dude. But like, I mean, it's hard to choose. They're all good, like written wise, not like, wow, that was cool. I'm glad that happened. No, obviously the fuck not. But
Oh,
like,
I'm so happy she fell down those stairs.
yeah,
I'm
man.
so glad that she used that 38. Really had it
Fuck
coming.
that green bitch. No, but like, yeah, it's hard to pick because I like all of them for their own reasons.
I think it's certainly an interesting premise, and ironically, it was I'd like to see. I'm a man of silver linings. I always try to look at the best of each of their endings. Though with E1 that is extremely difficult, but in our little corner of the writing world of the Snoot Club Discord, we have discovered a hidden talent for pulling hope out of our ass. Because the mentioned Ghost in the Snoot fic, that actual original prompt was by me. I made the prompt in passing, and it was, oh guys, wouldn't it be funny if like post E1 Fang was just hanging around, not like a spooky ghost or anything, just like chilling. And we kind of were just like, nah, that's stupid. And it just kind of massively snowballed. And now I think the thread for that has like 14,000 messages of just pure cooking. The fic's not even out yet. It's just pure cooking of the idea. We had like 4 guys go insane over the whole idea. So E1, yeah, we can make it work, baby. We'll make that shit fucking the sweetest goddamn story you'll ever read in your life.
People's brains
Fuck
be
yes.
buzzing.
Also, I think the chat's having a drinking game again. So, Bond, Starman, Ghost in the Snoot.
Yeah, let him just give a second here to see if he can get them fucking wasted real quick.
I wondered what questions they were going to drink to, but they said, "Oh, you don't get to know."
I kind of want to know, like, after stream. Like, because they did that on the last one as well. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching them drink and I'm like, what does that bingo card look like?
I don't know. I'm going to abuse it, though.
Yeah, I know you will. You love abusing the bingo card.
I want to kill them with liver damage.
Yeah, really parading yourself over there, aren't you? All right.
Well, I am him.
You are the Jack Parade. Well, we would usually ask about what was like your actual integration in the community, but you kind of already answered that with you read fanfics and then got into the games themselves, so that kind of handles that portion. Which means that we can go ahead and start talking about the fic that you're writing itself. I'm gonna fucking butcher the
Alright.
name, but you know.
Bodhisattva.
Bodhisattva.
Bodhisattva. Yeah, it's the name of the fic itself is based off a Buddhist term. Is to gain awakening or for one to be enlightened.
Mm.
I at a time a long time ago, I hated E2 Olivia. Strongly, bold, italics, hated E2 Olivia. Because my understanding of her kind of was very shallow at the time. There is a text somewhere of me that says I actually hate E2 Live more than 1Co. That is a thing I have written down somewhere in the Snoot Club. It is a very real thing. And ironically, at the same time, I think some point I started saying like how, man, E2 Olivia just needs like a wake up call or something, dude. Like
A2
she like
Olivia needs a good dicking, is
like
what she
what
needs.
what would what would she do if she's like, I want to like plop her down in a fucking chair and show her E2 from her perspective and realize, oh damn, I've been kind of a douche girlfriend. And it kind of weird, like this snowballed into a thing like that where what would happen if like E2 Liv would eventually see how she was as a person, from a different perspective, that wake up call, that realization. And the one shot happened because I kind of really liked the idea. At first I tried to pass off the prompt in an adopt a prompt, but I was like, I really am thinking seriously about this. So I created a blank template of a character named Charlie at the time, who was just a girl. Because if you do a man, OC, and Olivia, you know what's gonna happen. All right. I'm
Yeah,
looking at
fair
someone in
enough.
the room here. And I didn't want that. I wanted like to experiment. The whole idea of the original one shot was purely an experiment. What would happen? So I puked out those 10K words, and people were like, "This is kind of weird. That's kind of interesting." Like, and you know what? And I was content to leave it as that. Put that away. Say I tried it. Writing's not for me. I'm gonna stick to my little art doodles things and whatnot. About like a week or something passes, and I can't stop thinking about it. And I was like, you know what? Let's try something. Let's try something here, and we'll give it a shot. And I wrote the first chapter. It was a prologue, and there was some interest. It's like, you know what? Let's try this again. So I made another, and another, and another, and I didn't have an AO3 account at the time. This was purely by people who were coming into a little thread I had made and saying, oh, this and that, and this and that. And it kind of just snowballed. And once I had created the fic, because at the time I was like, okay, who's Charlie? Who is this? What is their character? I'm gonna send you Humo design I have. This is the official Charlie and Olivia thing I have that I had
Gotcha.
made for the fic. What happened was that I purposely left Charlie as a blank slate, and as I kind of worked throughout the fic, I kind of molded it. So that's Charlie on the left here, and there's Olivia on the right. Yes, she's in an office chair. Yes, she's holding an umbrella. It's kind of relevant to the story, but I had like, who's Charlie? Who is this girl? And as I kind of molded the idea of the story, it's kind of like, hey, I have something here. I have something that can work. And not just Mary Sue my way through the rest of this, because I hate Mary Sue's strongly. I wanted the main character to mess up. I wanted her to screw up Royal. I wanted her to not know what to do. I wanted her to be an 18-year-old girl who has her own worries throughout the world. I wanted the story to feel believable. So, and now we're just kind of, I think we're past the halfway point for the fic. We have about 123,000 words under the belt and plenty more to go with plenty of ideas in the back cooker ready.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I haven't gotten to read through everything that's there. I read up a little bit before stream just so I had like some context as to what was going on. But I was definitely I got through chapter 2 at the very least, and I was like, okay, I'm hooked. I want to see where this is going. This is interesting.
And me being a person who is caught up with it,
Mm-hmm.
it's really good. It's really good.
So whatever you're doing it right, dog. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of help though, and I want to give a quick shout out to everyone who this would not have been possible without them. Meister, Swan, Vaozi, Arlock, everyone in my thread, especially Schmoopy, love you, baby, no homo. Um, Everyone there has been an incredible asset, and if I didn't have their help, none of this would happen. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have 123,000 words under my belt. And for that I'm eternally grateful. Um, and the fic still goes on. I get other art. Sometimes I get more art doodles. Sometimes I get comments or like ideas, and it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, I know. At least for the first 2 chapters, I don't know if this continues throughout all of them, but like, there's art at the beginning of the chapters, right?
Every single chapter, minus one that has a little squiggle that was done by Arlock because my main computer was down at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one, I draw all my own cover arts, which kind of I guess can roll into what else I do
Right.
with the art thing.
Yeah, feel free.
Well, I guess right off the bat, I might as well show one of the most recent things that I had done was a sprite edit for Ghost in the Snoot. And like I said, I try to do things as close as possible to how you would find it in game. I want to so I sent that to you. So if we were to look at it, and zoom in on it, it looks like something you'd see out of the game. It's got the action buttons, it has the right font, it has thickness, character heights, as close as I can get it.
Mm-hmm.
I like doing that. And it's come a long way since the original ones were really bad. But, with practice, practice makes perfect. And in some cases, I've actually significantly altered the sprites themselves to fit what I'm looking for. So, for example, let's see if I can find it here.
Ripley looks fucked up in that image, dog.
Ripley, yeah, that's Arlock's. That's Arlock's work. He did a really good one. This is one I'm very proud of. This is an older one, I will admit, so it doesn't have the same kind of polish. I sent it to you again, but the whole gesture is, you can see how I took the Reed holding a non-sprite and kind of melded it and worked it around so it could look like he's holding back Trish from charging at Anon and Rage. So and that's stuff I do. I make these little changes to the sprites so they can fit what I'm looking for. Sometimes I just shit about I just make absolute trash because it's funny, and I just sent you another one. Why? Because no one's gonna stop me.
You know, this kind of reminds me. There was
It's a
one
little
like.
small on screen there.
Oh, here, hold up a sec. Let me zoom her in her. There we go. It kind of reminds me of one thing that I did. It was like a fucking you remember it, Jake, the Wani Tarkov thing.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd have to go fish it up, but yeah, I'll see if I can find it while we talk here. But yeah, no, like it. I definitely have like a lot of respect for like putting in the effort to make like a good version of that, since I have kind of done something like that before. And it definitely takes some work. It definitely takes some fucking work.
But yeah, no, I think beyond just the normal stuff, I do little like art stuff. Like I said, nothing too serious. You might have actually ironically seen some of my stuff kicking around every once in a while. This sent you one. You do actually see
Jesus.
Ooh, that's big.
I love when the zoom just like is at the wrong time. So like yeah, like with the previous one where it's small, it's like okay, I'll zoom it up, and then a regular one comes in and it's like I'm looking at the forehead now.
Yeah, no, but little doodles. I do that. And then there's some like video editing that I do that I made a massive typo on, and I'm kind of embarrassed to show. And I don't know if you can exactly show videos, but especially because it has copyrighted music. Um, but no, I do that, and it's fun. You know, I kind of varieties spreads out my variety of what I can do. Like the last Jake can vouch for this. Jake, when you saw the cover art for not this last chapter, it was this last chapter. Do you think, ooh, you know, especially given the name of A Second Thoughts, do you think, ooh, what's gonna happen? You know, because it
Yeah,
causes
it's eerie in a sense. I'm staring at it
it's
right now.
you know, and I do like that because it adds a little spice, something nice for the reader. You know, I always
Yeah.
appreciate seeing art on fanfics, and I think, you know, that's something I wanted to replicate with mine.
For me, it's just cover art. I always just put cover art and that's it. The only exception is a single chapter in Punch Drunk where I just edited a fucking sprite from the game. But it's fun. Definitely, I like your cover art. It adds mucho spice to your chapters.
I also have come across the thing that I was talking about, so I'll flash that up on screen here for a second. Um, this was fucking stupid, but it
Very good.
it was a bitch and a half getting everything situated properly, but I am happy with how that turned out.
Oh, yeah, no, I love doing these things. Let's see. I'll post two more and then you can quickly flip through them
Hmm.
before so yeah, you do I actually have seen this posted somewhere on 4chan, and I thought that was funny. And then you have the Trish one too, because spoiler alert, it's like you can't even tell. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. Um,
Well, I bet you've been loving those art pieces Shido Tara's been cranking out, huh?
oh yeah, those are great. I personally, okay, I'm not gonna dump these here, but I actually have all drawings of the original Star Wars cast, but as new characters. I have drawings of those.
Oh,
I will post one for the sake of now. I will give a proviso. They are old. Um, that or Star Wars characters or Fallout characters. I've done both. Um, I think I'll definitely send these two, so
oh, that's a good one.
you can flash that one first. Um,
Oh boy. Oh boy.
um, And then where else? And I'll put these two up because I'm feeling generous.
I know we've got a guy in the community. He put up some stuff with Snoot and Wani, or not Snoot and Wani, fuck, Wani and Fallout, Hayes,
Mm-hmm.
big old
Hayes is here.
Deathclaw Olivia.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have and then I sent you the two things. So yeah, we got Naomi Teen, because you know
Oh,
it just fits. It just works.
that bitch.
And then Princess Lucy. I actually have a whole crawl. I actually have a whole crawl, a whole opening crawl for Star Wars or Snoot Wars, excuse me. But
That's fine.
Yeah, definitely sounds like you were in on this.
yeah, no, it's something I like, but I haven't touched that whole idea in a long time.
Would you ever revisit it? Question mark.
Possibly, but I can't. I have two other fics in the backlog, which I guess is a good time to talk about them. Unlike certain people here, and I am not going to say names, except they are the AV in quantity. Um, they have multiple fanfics at once, which is, if they make it work, power to them. I am not one of those people. I want to be, I am not. I like being able to focus all my attention on one thing. Now, I like different. I like different for everything. It's just who I am as a person. I like to go off the original. That's why Bodhisattva is a thing. I wanted to take the OC Olivia interaction thing, because there have been fics where, and not yours, Jake, but there have been fics where they take Wani and then they just um sorry. Then it's just Wani and they just take the whole story and rehash it basically. And like, you have a different character. You have the opportunity to make something different, you know? And they don't. They it feels like they just kind of, it's shallow. They just make another Inko, and I don't like that. So I was like, well, you know what? Why don't I just completely remove Wani from the equation? So I took that's kind of the whole reverse isekai thing. And it's not just, all right, well, Olivia's here now. Now what? No, it's legitimate story of, again, me wanting to make it believable. Actions, scenes, everything like that. It's a real world. It's as cemented as can be. Because, for example, I try to think, okay, how will this character react in a realistic way when they see Olivia? I think at one point, oh man, I can't say without spoiling much, but there are points where like characters react the way you expect them to, or don't react the way they expect them to, and that's kind of what's fun. Um, but kind of with the whole idea of different. There's a sister fic to Bodhi that I have backlogged called Faciliation, which that word itself means change of state or matter. I can't remember the exact definition. And then the newest one, which I can't believe I'm about to say this with a straight face. Um, Black Mesa Wani crossover, Half-Life, Half-Life Wani
I
crossover.
heard you talking about this.
I have no idea. I literally was just listening to like Half-Life OST,
Mm-hmm.
and I was playing the game, and I literally had a thought of Olivia blasting away soldiers pop into my head. I was like, "Go away," and I don't think that. And I jokingly mentioned it in a chat. Um, and Swan's like, "You should write that down." It's like, no, Swan. I'm doing Bodhi. That's a bad idea. He's like, no. You should write that down. And then he's like, I'm gonna bully Arlok into having you write it down. And I was like, dude, this can't work. That's a stupid idea. This doesn't work. But those words are dangerous words in the Snoot Club writing community because the words "it cannot work" usually end up in 10 to 15 minutes later. We have the idea for a story hashed out.
Yeah, people take that as a challenge.
And we just. And then turns out Arlek knows stuff about the game, and then he starts talking about it. I'm like, oh no, there's a thing here. No.
Of course, Arlok knows about Half-Life. He was in its prime age when that shit came out.
But that both of those are gonna take a while, realistically. I have cover art for the Half-Life one, and maybe some scenes drawn up for the Vasiliation, but nothing ever solid will come from them for a while. I will I will send to you, Humo, the little cover thing, the little crappy 5-minute cover thing I have, because I wanted a placeholder for the thread. But
I like that title.
That's really fucking good. Anyway, I want to make Arlok feel ancient. I was born in 1997, also known as the year Half-Life came out. You're welcome.
that's pretty much it for me. I guess what's standing out, projects, and anything else. So if you've got questions, feel free.
So, okay, I'm a little curious because I obviously don't know much about this crossover with fucking Half-Life. Is it's where Olivia would be replacing like Freeman, or is she going along with Freeman here?
Going along with Freeman.
Okay.
We had some ideas on how it would initially start, but I elected instead to just have her pop. Literally, it's going to be inconsequential. It's not even a cope fic. It's literally just Olivia's there for the ride. That is
Goofy
it.
ass shit, basically.
It is just that. And in the same way, it's going to be a lot less serious, obviously, than Bodhi would ever be.
Right.
But it was kind of more along the lines of she fell asleep in class, and then she's waking up in some like weird ancient. Because we were discussing, okay, does Half-Life exist in the Snootverse? And we're like, yeah, but they're mostly console gamers in the Payne household. So let's just assume that maybe it's different to agree. Maybe it has dinosaurs, or it's just an old PC game which she's never played it.
Mhm.
And we decided she knows who Gordon Freeman is. She knows where she knows kind of what she is, but she doesn't know shit about the game. And she actually thinks, "Oh man, I'm in a video game. I'm dreaming. This is gotta be some weird fever dream." And then there's like a point where she realizes, or like I think when she gets hurt by like a head crab or something, she's like, "Oh no,
Wait.
wait
This
a
is
minute."
real.
And we've done some like actual serious. I've legitimately thought out scenes in my head of her, like, for example, if you know the catwalk scene after the Resonance Cascade, you go to walk out on a metal catwalk, and there's like a scientist that falls to his death there
Mhm.
or something.
yeah.
I can literally like I imagine like Gordon trying to like usher her like, okay, we gotta, because he doesn't speak. He does ASL. Because Gordon Freeman, there's a lot of fan interpretation of how Gordon communicates. I believe in ASL. So it's like, okay, but Olivia doesn't know that. So it's just a big game of charades for like most of the time.
Right.
And it's really funny in its own kind of way. Because I kind of, if you know Freeman's mind, kind of go along the line of Gordon thinks this, but he can't say it. And he tries to communicate it. And Olivia's like, what the hell are you telling me?
Yeah, that's really good. Are you gonna make him a schizophrenic? Because Freeman's mine too.
Oh man, it would be funny.
Just make
But
it Freeman's mine. Freeman, clearly.
it's a serious crack fic. That's the best way I can describe it.
And those
That's
are good
beautiful.
ones. I love those ones.
It's a serious, and I intend to see it all the way because, like, I was thinking, okay, what's the angle? What happens at the end? And it's like G-Man saying to Olivia, "Hey, you weren't supposed to be here, but damn, you did pretty good. But you know what though? We already kind of got a guy, so I'm just gonna send you back and kind of make sure you don't remember any of this." And then she like wakes up in like Miss Prockling's class. It's like the, or, not remembering anything. It's like, oh, sorry, I fell asleep. Boom, that's it. That's the end goal. It's the more or less the journey's the fun of the ride and not kind of the destination.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Miss Alfred.
I thought you were gonna go on like a whole speech
No.
there. You just
No, I
giving
just
this to
wanted-
Miss Alfred and that's it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say Miss Alfred in
Hey,
G-Man voice.
fair enough, dog. Oh man. Well, I think it's gonna be interesting reading that because of the fact that, like you were saying, it's gonna be ASL Freeman, right? Wait, yeah,
Yeah, ASL.
I thought I got the acronym wrong for a second because like I've had like thoughts about writing stuff in the past with like mute characters, and I've always wondered what the best way to go about that is, so that it's readable, but it's not like every single scene is like 10 pages long of trying to articulate something.
There's certainly interesting things with regards to how I foresee some parts going, because there are some bits where you have to parkour. Gordon has a parkour. How is he gonna do that with Olivia? Um, Initially I foresaw some bits where he's carrying her on his back, because thanks to Olivia's stronger upper body strength slash headcanon, the HEV suit gives you a little bit of extra strength for moving heavy materials around. Um, we did decide that Olivia would get an HEV suit, but an older model. When I believe it would be the chapter with the big tentacle monster and the rocket blast pit.
Blast Pit, yes.
I'm saying it for the purposes of the uninitiated. But blast pit, because that takes place in an older part of the facility, and at the same time I thought, well, okay, it's an older one, so it's a lot more bulky. So it'd kind of be like that, like the Iron Man Mark 1 suit, but this smaller. And
It's
it
like Ivan the
requires
Space Biker suit.
it's kind of like power armor more than anything. Um, but it requires power from a source, and I was thinking of like, oh, she could like be in a critical scene and her suit runs out of power and she's stuck and she's like screaming out for Gordon. Like, oh, that'd be cool. But there's also like low key grounding scenes. I'm like, maybe during Blast Pit, before she has the armor, she's like waiting with that one security guard who tells you to be quiet. This thing can hear us. Because Gordon, she can't go out into the big tentacle chamber, so she's like, I'll just chill out here with the guard. He'll keep me safe. And they just talk. He's like, man, I hope my wife and kids are okay. Stuff like that.
Yeah, like some
All right.
humanizing scenes.
So there's this old Half-Life fanfic. I can't remember what exactly its name is right now, but it's more less of a fanfic and more just a novelization of Half-Life. But it is by a writer named Super Chocolate Bear, and I do remember that name very clearly. I don't remember what the fuck it's called, but it is a really, really good Half-Life fanfiction. It's called The Black Mesa Incident. It's just called The Black Mesa Incident. That's what it's called.
Is it
The Black-
still up? Because I remember looking for it and I couldn't find it.
It is on the Internet Archive, thankfully.
Oh, thank God, because it was on fanfic.net a long time ago, and I could not find it. I think he deleted it or something.
Yeah, it's on archive.org. Thank the Lord. So if you still want to read it, you can go The Black Mesa Incident by Super Chocolate Bear, and it is a fantastic novelization of Half-Life.
That's kind of what my goal was.
Yeah. But are you gonna? Here's a real question: are you gonna do anything with Adrian or Barney?
No.
All right, the door's open for me now.
No, I can't really see much else. Oh man, it would be. You're saying it now. I never thought about it like that.
No,
Oh
I'm
man,
doing something with opposing force. You're gonna have blue shift if you want.
who would go for Adrian? All
I don't
right,
know.
that's a line of thought for another day.
Yeah,
That's a
we'll talk
line of
about it in a
thought.
thread somewhere. We'll talk about it in a
That's
thread
a
somewhere.
line of thought for another day. But no, I like weird. I like different. I like things that have never been done before. Arlock is insane. He just said Mia and Adrian.
I'm kind of into
Holy
it.
crap! I'm
I'm
kind
kind
of
of
into it.
into it.
But anyways,
I'm writing that down. I'm writing that down.
oh boy. Anyways, I like different. I like different. I like alternative approaches. I like believable alternative approaches. Because another thing I do for my story is some people have different ways in which they write. So I guess I don't know if you have a question about like writing methods. So you know what? In fact, I'll let you ask the next question that we have in mind here because I know we have a few.
Well, funny enough, it would be about your creative process. So by all means, go ahead
Well,
and.
great. Just perfect for me, you know? Um, anyways, what happens is that for me, my process, and this is something I've worked on over the time, I've realized something. I'm actually terrible at writing.
Mm,
Um, I'm really bad at it. Typos, mistakes, things that just kind of don't make sense. I'm really bad. But I learned through what I do is what's called framework.
okay.
I have the plot points of a chapter beaten out in my head before I write it down. You know, some people are like, okay, this is my goal. How do I write to this goal? For me, I'm like, okay, this is what happens, and then this is what happens, and then this is what happens. And then I kind of start with the rough outline of what happens, and I will write out what the story is. And then after that, when I go back for proofing, I will fill in the gaps of the thing so I can make it a fluent, believable, emotional, whatever I'm shooting for scene. So it's called the framework. That's what I call it.
Hmm.
Framework it, proof it, beta it, send it. That's the process.
Okay, so
Um,
do you kind of like set up like different like milestone type deals where it's like, okay, these are like what the big events need to be, and like everything in between, we kind of flesh it out as we go?
yeah, that's basically how it is.
Gotcha.
So spoiler alert. Whoa. In this chapter, the big event is Charlie takes Olivia out for a drive. But I can't just do, okay, that's where they go. They go now. It's kind of, okay, what happens in the day before that?
Hmm.
Um, Here, I'll do you one better. Let me give you the cover art for Bodhisattva.
Sure.
Um, and it kind of is just, um, here you go. Sent it. And that's basically, it's like, okay, how do I get to that point? You know, so I'll think in my head, all right, what happens early in the day? And I'll kind of hark back to what I've mentioned previously in fics or in chapters or had for ideas or stuff that just kind of stands. There's something that's I think someone called it Chekhov's gun or whatever.
Right.
Someone calls it Falling's gun. So there's hints that, say for example, Jake, I don't know if you realized it before you actually read the chapter in which Charlie admits what happens, but the items in her drawer, I kind of pointed them out, you know,
Uh-oh.
or in the most recent chapter with Maria and her staring. Um,
Yeah.
I like hinting the stuff that there's something going on there. But the main character, whoever's POV it is from that time, doesn't know, or thinks like, oh, I don't need to think about this because they already know. Um, but I'm losing my train of thought. Everyone's dead. Um,
Billions of brain
Rocks
people
fall.
must die.
Rocks fall. The party dies.
oh yeah, I remember now. But it's no, it's framework. What can I use from previous chapters? And beta and proofing takes a lot of time, if not equally more time than the actual writing process itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, for example, some authors can say, all right, it's done. Proof this out today. All right, here you guys go, same day. Me, it takes 2 to 3 days. I am extremely thorough with my work. I hold my work up to a high standard of quality because I want it to be a good story. I very much aim to please. I try to make something that seems like to Olivia in her world. That's stupid. To whoa, this is actually kind of like legit. So that's pretty much it.
All right then. Yeah, whenever it came to me doing like writing type stuff in the past, I definitely had a similar type thing. Personally, I called it the checkpoint system just because I kind of treated every story beat I wanted to get to as a checkpoint, and the run up to those is where I have to spend the time kind of thinking, okay, well, how do we get from point A to point B to point C to so on and so forth, right? So yeah, I can definitely understand what where you're coming from with all of that and how that kind of gets paced out. What about
Yeah,
you,
no,
Jake?
it's
Oh, go ahead.
no. I want Jake to talk. Jake hasn't had the talking stick for a while.
I'm not. I don't have anything to say. My writing process is fucking like I just fucking shit my head against the paper, and then whatever goes, dog. I
That's
don't.
funny.
I don't even. I have a proof. I have a proofreader, and I give him my things, and he's like, "Yeah, point this, and this, and this."
That
And
is
I'm
a
like,
good point you mention it. So this is where the falling sun secret is exposed here. I have a council.
"Yeah, you have the." I've seen you like send it to like 5 people or some shit.
I have a council, and I have one person for every job, ironically. But this is what I'm saying. I write the story. I fill in the gaps. These people point out little inconsistencies in that story. So Meister, um, he does emotional scenes. Meister's great. He does the Ashes of Gaia. Gaia. Sorry, Meister. I just butchered your name. Um, but he writes that fic, and he's pretty good. He does emotional scenes. Does the emotions seem legit? Does it feel believable? Um, Swan. Swan is there for a good second opinion. Swan, this is not offensive to you, but you are the average baseline.
Basic
You are how I see you are the basic reader to me, basically. You call out things that the normal average reader would see, I feel. Um
He's
and for
been wanting
that,
the
that's why you're
man's
useful.
eye.
That's why you're useful. Gator Enjoyer, he does picking up the shards. He ensures that I'm doing Olivia in character. Um he really makes sure that I am on spot with her. And then Laozi, the big man of the house. The fact that I have him occasionally help is great. I didn't have him for this last chapter, and it doesn't show, thank God, because Meister's an amazing beta. So is Gator and Swan. They're all great betas. Um, and the reason I call him the big man is because he set me straight in my writing. If you compare, I think Jake can vouch for this. If you compare the early chapters of Bodhi to the later ones, you can notice a distinct increase overall of the quality of the story, especially as I kind of figure out, okay, this is what actually Bodhisattva is. Um,
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm just looking back at some of the earlier chapters. I've been staring at it while we talk, which is maybe why I seemed a little distracted. I'm just catching up on old bits, like just in case. But yeah, there's definitely a change as it goes on, and it makes sense to me. Like now that I understand, you have the
Avengers.
council, yeah, the beta Avengers. I mean, it makes sense. You got people to keep your shit straight.
I'm not saying that I can't do No, actually, I am gonna say that. I can't say that I would be where I am without them. Their help is greatly appreciated. And sometimes it's kind of cut down. Some people are on the betas, some people are not. It's just, and I appreciate every single one of them because at the end of the day, the goal is not for my personal success. It is for the people of AO3 of the community to have a decent fic to sit down and read.
God
That's my
bless.
end goal.
Amen to that,
You
brother.
know, if it takes, several people to make it happen, fine. I would do that in a heartbeat. And that's why I'm openly admitting everyone who is a part of the council watching or watching the VOD, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything. You know, I'm doing an interview. I didn't think I would ever be here, let alone be at almost 4K hits. So,
You love to see it. You fucking love to see it. Yeah, no, definitely. I see the results of your counsel because I look at my shit and I'm like, I got one beta and proofreader. He betas and proofreads for me. And it's like sometimes I can't get a hold of him because he's a busy guy. So when I do that, I just gotta thug it out by myself, and that's how shit like window slips through.
Window.
I don't think I've actually fixed window yet.
You shouldn't. It is a fucking point in history at this point.
Yeah, you know what? I'm leaving window. I don't even remember what chapter it's in.
Neither do I, dog. Neither do
It's,
I.
it's there.
there was a critical error I had made at multiple points throughout the story or throughout the story's life, where I misspelled Baryonyx or Baryonyx, whatever.
Baryonyx.
Baryonyx, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
misspelled that every single chapter up to a certain point, and I didn't realize it. And I think it was someone pointed out, I was like, hey, this is misspelled. And it's like, they haven't changed that. That's been like that for every chapter, and no one's noticed. Thankfully, no one knows else how to spell it themselves. So I silently changed that. And every once in a while, I'll catch like, oh man, that is a critical error, a critical error. I think there was one where recently, I think I posted in my thread. I was like, XY character instead of sits down, XY character shits down.
Hell yes. You love to see it. Hey, you know
great.
what? At least it's a funny error.
Oh yeah, no, I do love those. Those are always funny because you can't help but all right, that's funny. Good on me there.
Just a little chuckle
Yeah.
before you fix it up.
Gonna
Yeah, and then there's window. I hate window.
I can fucking tell. For context, for those of you who don't know, in fucking Punch Drunk Gator, during one of the chapters, while I was reading, there was there was supposed to be only one window, but he wrote window twice. So
I'm you got me fucked up. I want to go find out what fucking chapter that was in now.
that shit lives
Dickhead.
rent free in your brain, don't it?
It does, yeah.
That's great. But yeah, no.
all
I
right,
think
I found it. I'm gonna send this to you, and you can put it up on the screen for a little bit.
there it is.
She shits neatly postured. Well, I mean, you should just just a note to everybody: if you should have a proper posture when you are going number 2.
But continue.
I was just gonna say. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go on. I was just gonna bitch about the window again.
Do you want to bitch about the window? It's funny to bitch about the window. If you want to do that real
No,
quick.
I'm good.
You sure?
I'm good, dog.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good, dog.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
I'm good,
dog.
dog.
All right, cool, dog. But yeah, like going on about like how you have a whole council and everything. I think that's one thing that some people, when they're starting out, especially, don't really realize is important. They kind of have an idea that they want to do like everything themselves, which, I mean, if you can do that, more power to you. But there's nothing wrong with asking other people for help, because another set of eyes on anything you write is always a good idea, because they're going to be able to see things you may have missed, because just how you either read or how you go about looking over your stuff, right?
Yeah, no, I have I have two. I actually try to read my fic at different intervals in different positions. Like I'll read it on my computer one time, or if I'm out for a walk, I'll read it then. Because it's like whole different format. You see things differently.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if I'm on my phone, like, how did I miss that word? I literally looked over today on my computer. It's just how my eyes work sometimes. Um, and there was a point, even Laosi themselves made mistakes. In some of the early chapters, um, there were some typos that even they missed. And it's nice to have those few people to catch these, misses. And you know what? Here's a great example. George Lucas, the big almighty bearded one
Mm-hmm.
with his great array of flannel shirts. When he wrote the original Star Wars, you know what people told him? Hey, some of these bits suck, or some of these don't work. And he was like, all right, I'll fix them. And then he fixed them, and then he made the original trilogy. Come the 1990s, when it's time for the prequels, episode 1, 2, and 3. Episode 1 happens. Everyone's like, oh, it's the almighty George Lucas. How dare we question his judgment? So he kind of just went through the whole thing without anyone telling him, hey, it's kind of, this Jar Jar guy, don't think you think he's a little cringe? No one bothered to tell him that. And
Because he's
then,
George Lucas, right?
yeah, he's George Lucas. So then what happens is that, this happens for like one or two, and then people are like, probably we should say something. So they actually said, okay, let's try and make 3 like a good movie this time, and say our minds. And they actually said, I think there was a thing where someone said, listen, let's actually kind of make 3 cool, you know? Again, we had to set up the story, but 1 and 2 have just been kind of not it, bro. And you know what Lucas did to that guy? He said, you got a promotion. Thank you for actually fucking telling me that my shit's not been up to it for the last, half decade or something like that. And that's kind of the lesson I took out is at first I thought, yeah, I can do this on my own. And then I had Laozi proofread me for the first time. I had never felt a bigger kick to the mental nads in my life when I saw like 200 changes he recommended for
Oh my
grammar,
god.
writing. Like it was, if you want to do something interesting, you want to have a funny live stream read, like at the end of the stream, we should read the original one shot.
Boy.
But yeah, I like my council. I really appreciate them. They make Bodhi an enjoyable product for everyone,
Yeah,
except for one
feedback.
person who said it fell off and gave no explanation.
Yo, this shit fell off. Walks away. Oh, okay, thanks, I guess. Yeah.
That kind of goes into an interesting point too. Is criticism the point of criticism
Mm-hmm.
and comments in general? I haven't got any, except that one, and they purely said it fell off. I asked why, and they did not elaborate because they are a base Chad.
Obviously, too base for us.
But comments otherwise for the most part, I've just been what's happening in the story. I'm not a responder on my comments because you'll see like 581 comments in some fics, and it's just people having back-to-back conversations or the author responding to feedback and whatnot, and that's not bad. It's just all I know is I've been doing good, and no one said otherwise, so I just keep doing what I've been doing.
Yeah, just keep on rocking, right? That's the best you can do, at least. But
I'm the only person I've ever had come at me with any criticism about my work is that one guest commenter that I think every AoE like Snoot AoE 3 artist writer has to deal with at some point.
They have not appeared in my comments. Who I do hope to appear, who is an amazing running gag, the equivalent of Radio Man in the AO3 world, is
Oh, Peter with a quill.
Peter with a quill.
Oh my god, dude! Peter with a quill
I
is so funny every time I see him.
I want to see Peter in the quill, because here's the funny thing: he veils legitimate feedback through funny dip 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 dip.
I fucking love him.
It's great, and he gives legitimate comments and feedback, and it's perfect.
Oh man. Yeah, every time I see a comment, I haven't gotten one on fucking Punch Drunk, and that's so upsetting. But every time I am reading a fic and I see a fucking Peter with a quill comment, ooh, it brightens my day. It's so fucking funny.
That's great, dude. Again, he is the Radio Man of the AO3 Snoot world.
God bless him. Hey, Peter with a quill, if you're listening to this, keep it up, big man.
I'll have to like go look at some Peter with a quill fucking comments because I'm in the dark here.
It's amazing. Yeah, find him some. Or Arlock, if you have any of them saved, can you please DM me them so I can post one on stream?
Yeah, can we get a Peter with a quill comment up on the screen, please? We need the cabal to go collect some Peter with a quill comments, please.
Yo, when are we getting Peter with a quill on the spotlight?
Oh boy. That would be a stream I would watch.
Man,
he has to keep the bit up though.
Yeah. He's gotta have like a Peter Griffin voice changer.
Yeah.
Okay. I get the feeling that these comments are gonna be very interesting once they come in here, huh?
Oh yeah.
They're really he did genuinely good advice through a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actual like professional feedback veiled thinly through the bit of it's literally just dip 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 dip. Thank you, dear writer. I feel this one scene could have been a little bit XYZ dip 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 dip. Though I do feel he sent it. He sent it.
All right. I see. I see what is.
It's really fucking good.
Did you find him one? Did you send him one? Or
no, I thought you were.
I will. This is a text file. Sorry, it's not AO3, but you can kind of get the gist of how it works.
I was putting it up on the stream and I forgot it was 400%. No, 500. There we go. I kind of picked up on what was being meant here with the dip 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 once I started thinking about the name in a bit more thought. Dear Arlock, dip 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 dip. I'm writing to you after finally engaging in my lawsuit against Quahog, and as I've had my father-in-law Carter Pewterschmidt sponsor my endeavors. More on my situation later. As you release a new chapter, I must write a new comment. Don't ask to why I do such, but I do it anyways. This chapter was rather nice. It felt a bit empty in terms of development, but it still felt like a nice slice of life chapter. I'm interested as to where this may lead. Dip 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 dip
You're
dip.
gonna read the whole fucking thing out, huh?
Why not?
No, you go for it, dog.
Which sort of leads into my next questions. How are you planning on this ending? Do you plan on going the route of I want to kiss that snoot and have sort of bonus chapters? Dip 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 dip. I showed this chapter to my old friend Quagmire, and he rated it a 3 out of giggity. As I've stated in the past, he's likely rating with his dick. My $30,000 concert speakers are still being contested between me and the city of Quahog. Lewis recently assaulted Tepper, and he's greatly afraid of her. I've considered replacing him with Meg, as she has become more unruly due to her new sleeping location being in the lockless shed in the backyard. She has said that she's seen a purple dinosaur who spouts on about love and shit in a child-friendly manner in the corner of the shed at night. I don't care about Meg, and I've repeatedly told her to shut up and take her pills. Anyways, I do hope you continue writing this fic at your current rate, and possibly faster. Dip 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 dip. Well wishes, sincerely, Peter Griffin.
It is amazing. It is so good. I love it
Beautiful.
so much.
Beautiful, even.
Yeah. If you're out there, man, shout out to you. You do us all a service.
That's somebody who loves their job, huh?
That is a great bet. Kudos to him.
Mm. What are you laughing about?
Just the whole thing, man.
Yeah, it just kind of hit you.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I guess talking about like comments and stuff. You said you haven't gotten too much, but I'm assuming like outside of just comments, people talk about like your fix to you and everything. Not just with like your counsel and whatnot. So has kind of like the reception you've had, with the writings that you've done, kind of altered the way you've done your writing process, either like incentivized you to do some things or de-incentivize you from doing others?
That's a good question, John. Thank you very much for asking. Um, no, it is certainly feedback has played a big role in how I write. There actually have been times, many of which, where I have doubted my own abilities and just had normal, teething issues with being a new writer and everything. Because I still very much am babyface writer. Some people, maniacs who wrote 80K words in 1 week. Meanwhile, this has taken me a few weeks, at a pace of, I'd say, about one chapter per week, between 10 to 17,000 words per chapter. And the feedback has been generally positive, like I said, for the most part. And it's that positive feedback that more or less fuels me. And it's not like, oh, your praise, it fuels me. No, it's not like that. It's more like, it really is nice to see people are enjoying what I make. You know, um, it really is endearing to see like people. And when I see people, the biggest thing is when I see people talk about Bodhi and like servers I have no connection to. I was told recently, like, hey, some people on like this other server are talking about like how the one guy said whoever wrote Bodhisattva is on crack and it works. And I was like, you know what? I'll take that.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, dog.
but its feedback certainly does play a part, especially in my thread. Especially in my thread. There is one shadow man who is the almighty Ensei of a lot of things sometimes, that I occasionally bounce ideas off, and I will not reveal their identity for the sake of their safety, because if they find out, someone will die. Um,
Ooh, all right.
Ominous.
no, this is Arlock.
Oh, okay. That
But
guy. Got it.
no, but it's every once in a while I will bounce off ideas in my thread, or taking like, hey, chat, what do you think of this idea XYZ? Or someone will say, hey, great example, actually, perfect example. I wrote a chapter with, like, I think it was like a few chapters ago, and someone mentioned, because originally how I had it is they knocked over a vase and both of them laughed. Both Charlie, the OC, and Olivia both laughed, like, ha ha ha, funny. But then someone's like, you probably should have had her like kind of have a little mini PTSD, like, you know, because she's still kind of thinking about Inko and whatnot in some parts. And I was like, fuck, why didn't I think of that? Damn it. So I literally, and this is something I'm not afraid to do, I do hot fixes on live chapters. Um, I do hot fixes on live chapters. So I literally redid that whole like section to have her more stare off into space. I'm like, oh man, But it's from the OC's point of view, so you're like, oh, I wonder what's her deal or whatever. Jake, you probably will remember it's the Star Wars Charlie Sick chapter.
Ah, yeah.
Um, and no, it's stuff like that. So I do get legitimate feedback, and I do incorporate ideas into the stories, and I've never had one more or less say, "Don't do this," more to the tone of, "Do this a little later."
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think You put the Bodhisattva cover back on, as beautiful as Peter Griffin's
Oh
words are.
yeah, sorry about that. I just
He was
perplexed.
absorbing them.
There we go. Back up. All right. Well, we got another question in here relating to like process and everything. That being the dreaded burnout and or writer's block.
Oh,
Have you ever
another
run into
loaded
it?
question. Yes, very much for both of them. For the topic of writer's block, there has been one or two times that I was like, I have no idea what to do after this. I am textbook boned with a capital T somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I really had no idea what to do, but thank God, like I said, the people in my thread really came through and saved my bacon. And I told them, like, I really don't know what to do. And we just spent like a good few hours going back and forth until finally one of those, oh my God, gasp, aha moments. This shit can
Urethra.
work. Yeah, urethra. Um, and I love those moments when I'm thinking about my story. I'm literally taking a shower and an idea passes through my mind of what I can do, and it's a really good idea, and it's so good an idea. I literally shout in my shower, "Fuck yeah! Oh, I'm gonna do that! Oh, hell yeah!" You know.
Hey man, whenever I need to think about shit, I'll hop in the shower.
Oh shit! What the fuck? Hold up a sec.
But it
You can
is
I'll
keep
check in
going.
certainly
Discord.
what's going on here.
I just
Give me.
accidentally popped something up. You can keep going. I just gotta fix it on my end. That's all.
He put porn on the screen.
I did not, liar.
And I'm not watching the stream. Oh, chat fumble. Anyways, um, no, it's stuff like that. I definitely have had a few sticky points, but thank God people on my threads are just so good at helping figure out what's next. Um, it's really confused. Like sometimes it does get confusing, and now we'll go into the topic of burnout. It's gotten real close sometimes. They're like really bad, really bad. Like I had no idea if I would even continue the fic bad. I doubt my own abilities, or just like, am I even really that good a writer? I have all these people doing this stuff to help me. Maybe they're the ones who are actually coming up with a good story. But it's, I'll have people tell me, like, dude, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. And it's kind of hard to kind of come to that on your own conclusion, and it's only through that encouragement that I keep going sometimes. And the people of the writing community have just been a blessing. And there are, like I said, if I didn't have my threads or the people in my community, this whole story would not come to be. I wouldn't be here doing this talk. Shout out, lots of love to the chat and everyone who's ever supported me. Why not? No homo. Maybe a little bit for one person. I'm figuring that out. Anyways, no, I'm not.
Unless.
Hey, you
Anyways,
know who you are.
don't watch the VOD. No. But it's a big thing, and burnout has been a big thing. When I just don't know what to do, or I'm not sure I can keep going. But at the end of the day, I sit down and I puke my words and I send it out to the betas, and people are like, "This is great." I'm like, you know what? I'll do this. I can do this. I can make this happen. I'm not forcing myself because I know what forcing myself feels like, and I have done that before. I set little like limits, so I don't burn out, so I don't force anything. Okay, I've typed my 5K today, or all right, let's write up to this scene. Like my goal for today, I wrote 3K words today. I wanted to get up to one scene, and that was it. You know, um, and that's all I wanted to do today. And then tomorrow I'll do another scene. and then so on and so on. And sometimes shit happens. Okay, I got a family emergency or I gotta go do a thing for work. A lot of people tend to forget, and this is a bit of a frustrating thing for me, that this is a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a job. I am not getting paid to do 9 to 5 to write this. I do this when I want to. That is entirely to my thing. I'll like a lot little times in my day, like, okay, I'm gonna do I'm just reading some stuff in the chat. Yeah, I sometimes my words counts fluctuate. It can be as little as 900 to 5 or 6K per day. Who knows? But sometimes it is, legitimately, I remind myself this is a hobby. If I don't feel like doing this, I don't do it. It's that simple. I go play video games or go for a walk or do work. I don't want to call War Thunder de-stressing, but
Oof.
um, but yeah, that's basically my whole thing on burnouts and writer's blocks.
I feel that. I've had my fair share of writer's block. I mean, fuck, how long did it take for me to put out chapter 25? Like, at least a month and a half. Hell, maybe longer than that.
Was chapter 24 longer, or
what, like
between you releasing it?
It might have been. Yeah, no. You're right. It was chapter 24 that took me way longer.
I was
going
gonna
to
say, because I thought 25 came out in. I mean, it took a little bit, but it wasn't as long as 24.
Yeah, no, 24. Sorry about that. I'm just used to still people making fun of me about chapter 24. I'm not really active as much as I probably should be in like the literature class or like even in my own threads. Really, my threads are like for places for me to put my fucking chapter like announcements out and for people to be like, oh yeah, that was good. I don't really yap in my threads. I probably should. So when I get fucking writer's block, I just kind of thug it out by myself, which I feel like is maybe a bad idea. I feel like when maybe I get writer's block, I should just start interacting with all the writers more.
Couldn't hurt.
I feel when it comes to my thread, I have done so much with them. I don't know how many messages. I think it's one of the, if not the most, this message-filled thread in the entirety of the Snoot Club storyboard area. It is a serious possibility. Let's see how many. I forgot. It's oh, can't even find it now.
I probably should definitely yap more, but
it's a very good idea, and I would recommend it to anyone. If you are uncertain, talk to your thread. They are there to talk. It really helps. The yap attacks go hard. Um, it really is 17,000. 17,000 messages purely dedicated to talking, cooking, feedback, shit posting, me spamming my Discord because I have a really bad habit of sending short messages. I do the shotgun like, hi, how you doing? And like
oh, yeah.
breaking into, so that kind of is me. I'm not stat padding, guys. Please, I am not stat padding.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's definitely the thread has been a major contribution to my success. And without them, would be nowhere close.
Well, hey, then here's an invite for anybody in Snoot Club who is in the Punch Drunk Gator thread or even in the Lines and Waves thread. Come yap with me, dog. I'll talk shop. It's an open invitation. I want to get more active with Snoot Club. So hit me up.
Yeah, he
Hit me
doesn't
up in the
bite.
thread.
Arlek put a good point here. Sometimes there are things you don't want to open up about, and those are the case. And those are the times where occasionally I go to one or two people, say, "Hey, what do you think about this idea?" And we'll talk it out. Right now, spoiler alert, woo, not really. There is a little reference that I am doing in Bodhi that is going on in the background that will eventually accumulate in the end, and I love it. And it's always funny, because I love references in chapters. I love making references. It's my favorite thing. But here's the thing: is I try to veil them as it just happens. So if you don't get the reference, you don't get the reference. If you do get the reference, great for you. Um, like for this last chapter, I put a "What We Do in the Shadows" reference. I doubt anyone will get that because it's kind of a more niche Hulu show. But I put that in there. That was so funny for me to write, dude.
That's the one with the vampires, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one with the
Okay.
vampire.
What are we
Um,
talking about?
this references
Oh,
and how you sneak it in there and whatnot. But yeah, no, definitely references. I like doing those. Um, and yeah, you know, secrets.
references are always fun. Minor spoiler for chapter 24 of Punch Drunk Gator, but the whole James Workshop thing was really fun to write.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, buddy.
It was really, really fun to write because I've been inside game stores like that, and man, I was speaking from the fucking soul.
I could tell.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, I like having. Ooh, that's a great thing. Having writing based off reality to a degree. That's when writing really gets powerful, in my opinion, because if the writer knows what it feels like to be in the certain situation, and they know how to convey that, because that's a big thing for me. And this kind of could go to the creative process. I forgot to mention earlier. I like to turn what I see in my head. I like to see the image in my head and then turn that into words.
Oh hey.
So, like for example, I can see an apple in my mind's eye.
Yes, I was gonna fucking say it if you weren't. I was gonna say, speaking of images, yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
I
yeah,
literally just messaged Jake saying, "Uh-oh."
yeah. You knew it was coming,
Yep.
motherfucker.
Yep. Well,
Oh, I'm so happy.
But like I do like visualizing. It's easier for me to visualize it first and then write it down. Like for example, literally that's how like the Black Mesa Half-Life weird thing came about because I literally had be visualizing these scenes in my head and I was like, "Hey, wait, this can work. What?" Um so, stuff like that. And I like being descriptive. I like trying to get the reader, they can see what's happening. They can build that image in their head, characters shifting in their seat, someone, scratching the back of their head, stuff like that.
I love. See, okay, when I write fight scenes, I have brain autism because I can fucking like close my eyes and see the fight happening. So that's like a large part of how I fucking write my bullshit. Is that fucking is that visualization? Oh my god, what? Whoo! See, there's the autism poking out again. That visualization.
damn. That was scary.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm tweaking right now. I brought up
A
the. I
little,
brought up.
I got a little possessed there for a second. Do we
I
need to
know,
call an
man.
exorcist?
Well, yeah, it's because I saw Scrag in the chat, relating to me, and it unlocked.
Hey guys, I just want to say thanks for coming to this gaming session with Phasmophobia,
Uh,
where we get the demon that's out of in Jake right now.
I'd throw a cross
uh,
at him.
yes,
Yeah. Just
yes.
gaze.
Throw a cross at me.
What is
But
this
no,
voice? What are you doing?
I don't know. It's like a weird half pink guy voice, I think. Yes.
Yes.
All right, this is getting off the fucking rails. What are we? What next? Falling. You
I
were
don't know.
saying
I'm not.
something before we
I'm not
interrupted you.
Oh, something about visualization.
Yes.
No, visualizing stuff is usually when I'm doing my planning, I usually visualize first, personally. And I like kind of seeing, okay, what's going on here? So for example, what positions or what's the world going on? What's happening? Character reclining in a couch, character sinking into their seat, a shrug, doing something. Make it believable, make it visualable, you know, make it seem authentic. Someone nervously fidgeting while they're kind of explaining, "Oh, I fucked up here." Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, a lot of expression is like body movement. It's gesticulation, you
It's
know.
critical. It's critical to my story. I like a descriptive world. And some people, listen, they don't do that, and it works great for them. That's the beauty of writing, and writing is an art. And to me, there is no fixed definition for what art is. Every
Gorgeous.
human being interprets something differently. Sometimes there's a general consensus, or there could be other times, like a certain man involving a username with a certain timekeeping device who doesn't really, see that the general vision that some people do. And that's their opinion. They're obligated to that. They're human. That's what makes them human, you
Mm.
know? Um, and it's so, for example, you know, Swan will make a chapter, 4K words with mostly dialogue and some happenings and stuff like that. And people will be like, absolute cinema. The total Martin Scorsese deal. Absolute cinema. Right? And then I will do something where it's every single movement and breath is detailed, and I try to make a visual picture that the reader can see. And same deal. Some people might not like that. I think someone told me like, "Well, I like having it more open to interpretation so I can see it as is." So, you know what? That's their prerogative. I like having it detailed. I was betaing for Swan recently. I said, "Well, this could be a little bit more detailed, but I kind of don't want to push this on you because that's how I write. I don't want to force how I write on you."
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can see why you wouldn't want to do that because when you get input from other writers and like they help you, it's important to make sure that when you accept their help that you're not like, I don't know. I don't want to say like copying because that's like a loaded word, but you want to keep your ideas yours. So like while help is appreciated, you know, you get what I'm going for, right?
Yeah, no, I understand. And I think that's why that was a concern of me earlier on with the council. I was just worried that am I really writing, or is it just these people? You know, but after the last chapter, the only person I seriously had on betaing that was one person, like three people, I think three or two. I had one person do mostly some little grammatical things, but not major story beats. One person did like, okay, is Olivia doing good? Like, and that is my Olivia rating good? Um, and then one person just read to say, hey, that is a good chapter. Simple as it. The normal big guy, like I said, Laozi, who I consider the head honcho when it comes to the beta council. I just they weren't available, and I was like, "Oh man, what's gonna happen? It's gonna be a bad chapter. Oh, I don't know what to do." And I was legitimately, I kind of said it in my thread, like, "Hey guys, I'm kind of like a little nervous. My normal betas aren't available. I'm not sure what's gonna happen." Then I posted it. Then one guy says, "Hey, this is the best chapter you've written so far." It's like, oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, man.
alrighty. Thanks. Ooh. Longest one too, 17,000 words. That
Yeah,
one.
yeah, no, I was gonna say that was a fucking long ass chapter too. I've my beta who was also my proofreader. He when he read 25, so he has like a favorite chapter of mine, which originally was 17, which was Relapse, which was the whole Eatic and, you know, Buwomp, the Eatic and Buwomp scene. That was his favorite for a long time. When I wrote 25, I was like nervous. I was like, oh, dude, like I haven't been to a funeral in so fucking long. Like, what the fuck is this gonna be good? And then he read it and he was like, this is the fucking best chapter you've ever written, dog. This knocked 17 out of the fucking park. And I was like, okay. So
You
I
know,
definitely know the feeling.
there is chapters where I'm like, oh man, are they gonna like this? Oh god, I'm so nervous. And then everyone's like, absolute cinema, peak, peak absolute cinema. And I was like, oh man, I feel a lot better about myself. My god.
Yeah, it's always a really good feeling when you put something out that you think you're like, oh, is this good enough? And then everybody's just like, shut the fuck up. This rocks.
There is one person in particular I would recommend them for the stream if I could help it. Though there is a language barrier. I feel their main primary speaking language is Spanish. They're a part of the Spanish community. It is Gator Enjoyer who does picking up the shards, and I want to try again. And Gator, love you to death, brother. No homo. But it's just sometimes, people we have difficulties. We are uncertain about our work, about what we're making. But at the end of the day, if we just have that little bit of confidence, and trust the process, spoiler for the next chapter, is it will work out. And I think at the end of the day, you will think like, okay, are they going to analyze this every single detail that I put in, notice these references and get the message I'm trying to send? Some people are going to be like, and I know I have been, okay, what's the dialogue? What happens? Oh, someone died or something. Oop, all right, good chapter. Bye. That's how it is for some people. That's how it is for me sometimes, even. What happened this chapter? Give me the post-it notes. Oh, all right, great. Thanks. Bye. Some people, like one of my betas, they pick apart every little message and thing, and they're like, okay, this is what's going on, this is what's going on. And that's kind of what I like writing about my stories. Like the people who are that more are not articulate, meticulous, I think is the word.
Meticulous?
Yes, that's the word. Thank you, my walking dictionary. Um,
Yes, sir. You're welcome, sir.
it's just they can enjoy it, while the normal people can just read the dialogue and be like, cool.
Mm-hmm. Anything to say, Humo?
I mean, not much. Y'all are just kind of like talking shop a little bit. I'm just letting
I know,
y'all.
but you're the big man. No, nothing for the big man to say.
Not currently, no. I'm
What's the
just.
next question? Next question.
Well, I, we didn't ask this question yet. I don't think so. I've been kind of clocked out a little bit. Not too much, but
What you got,
I think
Jaker?
this is the next question. Would there be any other advice you'd have to other aspiring writers, being relatively new to the field yourself? Any things you've picked up on that you want to, sling to another new writer's way,
Mm-hmm.
or just people who find themselves struggling with writing in general?
Trust the process. Get advice. Get feedback. Talk to people. Sometimes it's a little embarrassing to admit that you need help with things. We all like to think that we can do this. It's our idea. We can think we know what to do, but it's not a bad thing to ask people for feedback, for advice, for help. For me, the choice of me asking Lousy to beta was a big choice for me because, like, it's me basically admitting, yeah, my thing sucks. You know, um, it's ask for help, get feedback, take feedback. Learn from what you do. You write a chapter and it's not peek out the door, don't quit. It took me about 70 to 80,000 words before I got it locked in. Gator, too bad. I didn't know. You speak Spanish. Anyways, sorry, he just messaged me saying love you too, but I am neither ethnically or linguistically connected to Spanish. So thank you for doing this. Anyways, in that case, I'll have to point you out for the next time. But no, realistically, it's feedback is really important. Trust the process. You don't become peak writer overnight. It took me 2 to 3 months before I locked it in. You know, before I was like, yes, this is how I write. This is how it works for me. This is my process. Before it's just like few words on paper and call good? Question mark.
I mean, that's what I do, dog. So sometimes that works.
All right, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and I feel like that's all been reinforced throughout the entirety of this interview with the different topics we've discussed. So it is in line with what I would expect.
It's fun to get a newer writer on here, knowing that you are a mostly babyface writer. It gives, I think, it gives everybody, even veteran writers, a lot of insight. So it definitely a useful circumstance we found ourselves in for everybody involved.
Yeah, no, I don't have a big background in coding or writing or calligraphy as some weirdos have. I don't know.
All right, fuck. Shout out to the calligraphy heads. Yeah, fuck you.
I just literally, it was entirely under my volition to try something new. I like new things and I recommend it. If you guys have an idea, at minimum, throw it to a green text board or an adopt a prompt. Because some people might be, hey, it's a cool idea. Literally, the entirety of Ghost in the Snoot came about because I threw out an idea. I said, wouldn't it be funny if, wouldn't this be funny if this happened, you know, you know? And now it's something that, man, I'm so looking forward to when it comes to be, because in the thread for 3 weeks straight we did nothing but cook that fic. Every single tiny detail, down to the color of Anon's shoes. Not that deep, but we went pretty intense. But yeah, no, I really, try new things, you guys. Try new things, get feedback. And like I said, if we got time, maybe at some point near the end of the chapter, we could read some excerpts of the one shot that I tried and, that I started with. And Jake, you'll get a kick out of it because you'll compare it to what I actually have written and like, this is the same guy.
Maybe. We do have other things to look at the end of stream, but maybe we got some extra time. We'll see.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Speaking of Ghost in the Snoot, I just wanted to make one comment before we move on. I know my man Schmoopy, shout out. He's fucking frothing at the mouth for Ghost in the Snoot.
We love Schmoopy. Okay. Schmoopy is the mysterious stranger of the Snoot Club world.
Yeah, he's there, man.
Every once in a while,
Snoot related, he's there.
Every once in a while, Schmoopy will pop in and say the most absolute situation speak. And everyone will be like, holy shit. Oh, that's a brilliant idea. Oh my God, man.
Yeah, he has that effect, man.
I'm just thinking about it because I definitely I have not like perused those the writing threads much, so I don't know Schmoopy's identity over there, but I know Schmoopy's identity over in our fucking Discord.
Yeah, where he's the Zorn man.
Yeah. I love the dichotomy.
I mean, I don't know. We love him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Love Schmoopy. Yeah. Well,
but yeah.
Got anything else you want to ask real quick, Jake, or should we move on to?
Nah.
All right. Then I think that's just about all of our prepared questions. Anybody in chat, if you want to start dropping questions for the Q&A portion of this, you can feel free. The only other thing that I will ask, you kind of touched on it before with recommending Gator on this. Is there anybody else you'd want to see on the spotlight?
Gator most certainly,
Mhm.
given that they have a pretty decent backlog of very good ideas. Gator, actually, we bullied Gator into posting his writings in a very similar way that I was bullied into writing Bodhisattva. They write Picking Up the Shards. It's an E2 cope fic, more vanilla. Not okay, someone gets teleported to a different world. It's just legit this E2 cope. And it's pretty good. He has the new fic I want to try again. That's certainly a very interesting idea. Time travel. We love time travel fics. I love them.
Run that
At
clock
least
back.
Fix it, baby.
I love them. I love that trope to death. Um, and then is there anyone else? Well, I mean, there's one guy that I really love their stuff, and they're a constant rock in my world, but they're kind of new to the whole field and they don't exactly have much for their fic, but I will throw their name out for eventual someday. Meister T. They're pretty good. They do really good emotional writing and whatnot. And I think all the other big punches have been through. We've seen Arlock, we've seen Receiver. If Schmoopy wrote, dude, I would have Schmoopy on here in a heartbeat.
I would love to have Schmoopy on.
I
You know-
would love to have Schmoopy on in a heartbeat.
Damn, you just gonna? All right, I'm not gonna say anything, but I got a couple of ideas on my own. But I'm just gonna let you. I'm gonna let you say them. I'm gonna let you think about it.
What?
Dog, Scrag's lamenting right now, dog. Scraggity is lamenting. Pour
Alright.
one out for Scraggity, dog.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Scrag. Sorry, Scrag. Spinning her wheels. That's a good one.
Also, fucking Bears too. Bears is in the chat. Like, damn.
Bears is there. Yeah, Bears is there. Bears. So let me just go down the whole list. Yeah, why not?
You know, like I mean, you know.
Fucking Space Starman too. Wow.
No, but there is a lot of people. There's kind of too many. There's that Doge. They're really good. They do one call is all it takes. That's really good. Because I actually, you know what? I'd say that. That is my official recommendation for next in line is that Dodge. If he somehow finds out. Because they do a need to cope fake, but crazy, it's not a non that does most of the work. Whoa, and I really
have read one call is all it takes, and that's really good. So
I certainly do find that it is a unique idea. I do strongly propose, like if I had to say some guy would be solid next, that guy.
All right
That's true.
then.
hey, surprise guest Schmoopy.
Oh God. Hi.
hey, welcome on the show.
I was just about to pull up something Schmoopy sent me.
Meister made it for me.
He does. He yaps, man, and we love Schmoopy for it. Say hi, Schmoopy. Say hi to chat.
Hello, chat. Hey, Falling. What's up, dog?
Please have my babies.
Okay.
Wow. Just
That's in
full
line.
send.
That's in line with what
You-
Schmoopy usually has to deal with when he's in our server. So I mean, all right. I guess we're just keeping the bid up.
No, but we do love Schmoopy. Schmoopy in Snooker at least. He's going for the pregnancy. Sorry, I'm reading the chat.
Oh boy.
No, Schmoopy, while I have you have been a great asset to everyone in the Snoop Club for the writing world. You yap, but unironically, the yapping is very helpful with a lot of stuff.
I think
So
you described it the best. I'm like the little guy that's just like, hey, you should put that onion powder in that, dog. You should throw some garlic in that, like when you're cooking. That's it.
Like how you were
That's
doing
all I
last
do.
night.
Yeah, kinda. It's, I appreciate it, Falling.
yeah, bro,
There's-
just keep pumping out the peak, and I will keep pumping out the.
also peak.
Yeah, I
Also,
was gonna
yeah.
say, bleak, but that's not true.
I don't know, dog.
Um,
I'm the
I
one that
need
writes bleak.
I need my fix. I need my fix a fix, bro.
yeah, don't worry, brother. Listen, Stay around. Ghost in the Snoot cooking is gonna start back up pretty soon, man. We're
Oh,
gonna
dude,
need you on standby. We're gonna need you on standby.
I have the threads open. I threatened Jake into punch drunk already,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I've been threatened already.
All right, get him out of here. No.
oh,
Cast
throwing
into the
me
void.
out like that.
Go work
Get
on your
outta
target
here,
practice.
You.
Yeah, what's up, dog?
Goodbye.
He knows. He knows. That's
I
all
hate
that
that guy.
matters.
He sucks.
Oof. Damn.
You know, speaking of little guys, it's unfortunate we don't got Lanny around right now.
He's not that busy.
The rare Lanny appearance is now forsooth.
It's fine. I'm not sure Fallen could handle Lanny.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I mean, let's see. Do we have we gotten some questions?
Yeah, I saw a couple, but I'm gonna leave that to you, big dog, because I really gotta go blow my toilet up. I'll be right back.
All right, big dog. I'll scroll back and see if I can find the question.
The aftermath of last week's hot sauce venture.
Yeah, it's just now creeping up on him. That shit was slow acting. It's like a poison.
It took a week.
Oh boy. I gotta like scroll back in the YouTube chat and see where the first question is. Usually Jake's doing this. But okay, here we go. We got one from Swan Father. Question: what is your favorite fic?
I was asked this question a long time ago, a very long time ago, and it was hard for me to respond to it at the time. So can you play videos on the TV? Very
Yeah.
short videos.
Yeah, I can put videos up on TV.
I will have you put this video up on the TV, and this will give what my thoughts are.
All right.
Because
you can keep talking.
the idea of preferred fic is hard for me to answer because there's a lot of really good ones. A lot of really good ones. And I have no idea how to answer that question sometimes. Because on some days it might be different. So it was simpler for me to instead just put it together into one big thing. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Yep, knew I should have that slider open. That woke everybody in chat up. Or
I
maybe
can't
it
even hear it.
didn't. Yeah,
I
I was
can't
gonna
even
say.
hear
I was
it. I
gonna
can't
say.
even hear it.
Actually, everybody can't hear that. What the hell? This is probably some holdover from like last night when I fucked some shit up with my settings. Let me. Yep, there it is. All right, hold up. Let me connect it there. All right, let's see. Yep, there we go. Got it working now. Well, that just means everybody was spared from having their eardrums blown out. So you know what? Fortunate.
But yeah, a lot of these fics that are on here, this is a generally older list. But a lot of them are still pretty much up there for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff like Pirates, a lot of stuff Swan's made recently that are really good. Tory Games, great too. Yesterday's great. Echoes of Regret, those are awesome. But kind of, you get a general idea of what I do enjoy. That's on the video there. It was so fun to make that video, by the way.
Oh,
So when anyone asks, hey, does anyone have any fanfic recommendations? I'm like, I do.
just toss that.
I do. I do. That's that exactly. So.
Fair enough. It's kind of like when you have like a fucking, what is it? Like a job card or whatever, you know? Just hand that out real quick. Just toss it out. All right. Well, that answers that question pretty handily. Let's see here. What's another one? Got one from Draco G. What trope is your favorite?
Man, time travel.
Time travel?
I love a good time travel fic. Mainly because I've read a lot of Star Wars fics. A lot of Star Wars fics. And I have seen I love time travel. It is really enjoyable for me. If I had to do second best, it would be Isekai. Crazy, right? but I don't like cheesy Mary Sue Isekai. I like the guy or girl who's there doesn't know what's happening and messes shit up. Like there is one where this like Star Trek girl was thrown into Star Wars and she's like, I don't know anything. I just
What
I
is
just know
this?
Luke. I just know Luke's like I know Vader's Luke's dad. That's it. That's pretty much it.
Fair, fair.
Um. So yeah, time travel, Sekai, and I guess AU technically.
Okay, okay. Those are pretty. I mean, those are good tropes as far as I'm concerned. So I can understand that. And we actually do have a follow up from the Twitch side here with Vise asking, "What is your least favorite trope?"
Mary Sue. I think those are called tripes. Mary Sue. Um, I actually have a perfect answer to that. The next one, I do not like certain ships. I really don't like certain ships. If you want to post this on screen, there's actually, in fact, a tag I have on my fic,
I did notice that. Yes.
um, that I wanted to point out. I really don't. If there's an established relationship for the story, I don't like to break that if I can help it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I make the exception. I don't. But like, if you can make this work somehow, great. Make it legit, make it natural, fine. But for example, Bad Apple, or like anything in general that has Inko or Anon with someone not Fang or Olivia, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm
Right.
good.
I can
I don't
understand that
feel.
because it's like it's not your Inko or Anon. You know what I mean? I can feel that.
What else? I can't really. I never really thought of what I don't like. Yeah, just the non-canon shipping, Mary Sue, and um, I don't know. I think that's pretty much all I can name off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, let's see here. We got one from Kev. Well, per author, although you seem to have a good handle on this, and the girth of the fic scares me, is there any scene you'd like to see illustrated in any of your works?
Oh Jesus Christ!
That is a
Tons,
threat, by the way. He will do it.
Yeah, I'm back by the way. That
What's
is a
up,
threat.
Jaker?
Hello.
tons. There has been a lot of things that I've imagined in certain parts of the story that I would love to see visualized. You know, things that would really hit home. You know, depends on exactly what I want. Because if the scene, some scenes, there is one particular that has not happened yet. And when it does happen, I want it to be big. But
Mm-hmm.
if I could say, code word Earth Angel for anyone in the know, but I would say if there was one thing that was already in that I would love to have drawn, it would be Charlie and Olivia fighting over the remote because it's really funny. Um, there are other more meaningful bits like where one of the two OCs hug each other out, or interactions with someone's mom, um, like the OC's mom. There's stuff like that. There's plenty of emotional scenes throughout the fic. You know, if you want it to be a guided work, I say right now, read it to your own discretion and do whatever you want to do. And I've never actually gotten fanfic before. Maybe like once or twice, but not like serious. Some people have gotten like whole covers done, which is amazing to me. I'm not saying like, ooh, they got whole covers done. Where's mine? Where's my fanfic? Where's my cover? Where's my fan art? I'm not complaining, dude. People do whatever they want. Um, but some people, it's just I say read it to your own volition. And if you see a scene that's there already that you could visualize to a certain degree, do it. Go ahead. You know,
Oh, there you go.
there if there will be one day, I would be willing to pay legitimate money because there is a character of which I already have a design for. He's already a character in game, not in game, in story.
Well, hey,
Um,
Bodhisattva, there's a Bodhi mod, isn't there, on the workshop?
Oh yeah, no, there is actually. Let me post some bits of it here. I got
Ooh.
I got screen caps already.
Yeah, there's a
Let's-
Bodhi mod on the workshop.
yeah, no, totally, totally. You can go ahead, Humo. I actually posted some stuff. Um, at some point, people are gonna realize, wait a second, he's lying, and that this is another one of his amazingly done sprite edits. Um, but no, that is, I had the Charlie sprite commissioned, and Gator did the Olivia one, which is they're as close as they can get to their in-game or fucking in-story appearance. Um, but no, that it is, I guess, in the way of that is a Snoot/Wani style Charlie with Olivia. I think it's really funny, and like I said, I tried to make it as legitimate as it could be. And that's something I love doing is gaslighting people in Snoot Club. I will post these in chat or Ghost in the Snoot edits, and people are like, "What mod is this?" And I'll get like other people on board with it, and we'll gaslight them for a little bit. It's like, "Oh, it's a mod in beta right now. It's coming out soon. Don't worry."
Evil.
Lying can be fun. I know this acutely. All right. Well, hopefully that gave you some guidance there, Kev, on what you need to draw. We got another question. This one from Pints. Thoughts on Car from Garn 47?
No idea what that is.
All right. That's fine.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
It's this little goober up in the top right. I've enlarged them for your viewing pleasure.
Oh,
Car.
never.
Nah.
I never even knew their name. I know of the reaction gifs because they're everywhere.
Yeah,
You know,
Car.
that's Car.
yeah, never really thought much about them.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Well, now you will.
Yeah,
Let's see.
thanks.
Make
Jerks.
Car live rent free in your head.
All right, I'm gonna throw another edit on the TV screen while we're talking
Mm-hmm.
because
That's
these
fair.
edits are always good.
There we go.
Well, I've got a
Anyway,
question from Auralock.
ooh,
What motivated the rather unique name selection for Bodhisattva and Vacillation? The names are clearly topical and meaningful, but fairly out of the norm for name picks.
Steely Dan.
There you go.
Steely Dan. There is a song in um a Steely Dan album. I think actually of similar name or no, what is it? What's the name of the album? Um, it's in the album Countdown to Ecstasy. I was looking for a name of the song originally. I don't know, the name for the fic originally. And I kind of settled on that because I was like, Bodhisattva, that's a weird name. I'm going to look up the meaning of what that word means. And if you look up the definition, it's like, oh, changing, awakening, gaining enlightenment. And I was like, well, shit, that's the whole point of Bodhisattva is Olivia getting a wake-up call, you know? Um, Olivia getting that wake-up call, her gaining enlightenment. So it kind of just works. And it's a unique name. For Vacillation, I haven't touched on it much, but Vacillation is a sister fic that I hope to do after I'm done with this, which is a very similar setup where Fang, E2 Fang is sent to our world, but the setup instead of having her in an urban environment with more tied down to a young girl and whatnot, is Fang is sent to a rural town in the middle of Nowheresville, Iowa. Like a farm, a farm. As Fang goes to the farm, yep. But she's okay. She's alive and well. And it's a little more of an in-depth idea that we're kind of hashing out. Sit the hell strike. But it's certainly an interesting idea that follows. It's along the similar tone of Bodhi, but a more kind of serious kind of tone. But anyways, that's an idea that's kicking around somewhere. If it ever comes to be, who knows? I hope it does, but I'm sticking to the one fic at a time idea.
Which is a fair idea to go with.
Mm-hmm. Not all of us are Swan Father.
Correct.
All right.
Vasiliation comes from sorry, that also comes from another name. That also comes from that's a song from another name from Oliver Buckland.
There you go.
There you go. Uh,
It is a question.
it is a question from Cars. FallingSun, if you've watched MLP, who's your favorite character or pony?
Doctor Who's.
There you go.
All right, there you go.
I read a lot. Okay.
Oh boy, here we
Oh,
go.
boy. Here we go.
Gateway drug. I'm telling you. FNAF, but I discovered Fanfic.com.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? This could go on my tropes list. Human in Equestria. I am not a tiny cartoon horse person, but I read a fuck ton of My Little Pony fanfic. If it had like a human in it who has no idea about the show or like some kind of like idea about the show, it was always funny. And my favorite one was having like World War II stuff just pop into the My Little Pony world.
You mean like
So
soldiers
you,
just like fucking showing up?
yeah, no, you'd have the entire like Africa Corps pop up and like My Little Pony world, and it was the best thing I ever read in my life, and it was hilarious. It was the best crack fix ever. And there's some serious things. It's called like Flight 13. It's like really weird, but it's really cool, and I like it. Um,
Oh, boy.
and I haven't read that stuff in a while, and now I might have to go back to it.
Well,
just uncork
there you go,
that.
Cars. You got one.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow, we just really just both said that at the same time. Get
Yeah.
the fuck out of my brain.
No, it's comfy in here.
Cocksucker. There's barely enough room for me in here.
I know. I keep pushing you to the corner, and you still come back.
I always come back.
Yeah, there it is. All right.
I have
All right,
FNAF art kicking around somewhere. I don't know where.
all right, there's a question from Jake OG who asked, "Do you know what kind of dino Fang's mom is?" Dog, I can answer that. She's a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Sputtering there for a second.
Yeah,
I
'cause I'm like,
submit. I submit to the Lucy is a badass headcanon. Not Lucy.
Samantha.
Sam. Sam is a badass headcanon. That is canon. That is true. I need to figure out where I have it, but I have the coolest edit I ever made of her somewhere. I need to dig it up. This is crucial. But no, she is a badass.
all right,
in my mind.
while you look for that, if you do look for that, we got a question from Jeepers Mister. You're really creepy. What are your thoughts on the characterization of Mia, and how would you give her more depth?
Oh boy! Oh boy!
There
Oh
we go.
boy! Oh boy! I have a lot to say about that.
Oh, boy.
I hated her initially. I always felt she was really shallow, like the rest of the group, and I didn't like her as a character. But I found, ironically, kind of spoiler thing, maybe question mark. We actually found a way to squeeze her into the Ghost in the Snoot world.
Okay.
And through that, we kind of made me realize her shallowness kind of leaves a lot to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of, in my head, she's a misunderstood person who doesn't even understand her own emotions. Arlock, I need the Mia thing that you have with the non, please, and thank you. But it's Mia as a character certainly could do some more development, but for the sake of fanfic writers, they honestly have the potential to be more molded, so we can work with it, as writers. I did find what I was looking for. For the Sam thing, I'm gonna
Mhm.
put that on screen. I love Initial D. We've had so many things. We've said Sam is a fighter pilot, former National Guardswoman, racing car driver, badass. We have a few. Um, we have a few. And then going back to the Mia thing, we have that. I just sent it to you. This is something Arlock made for Ghost in the Snoot. It kind of just works. And I think I remember someone posted it. I posted it somewhere, and someone's like, "Why the hell are they together?"
I've seen this.
That's
I
Arlock.
fucking- yeah.
That's
It,
Arlock. This is
it,
for Ghost in the Snoot.
shout out to the original comic this is from, by the way, because this is a really fucking good webcomic. I'm not
But
gonna say the name.
yeah, yeah. So that's pretty much that on that question. I think we got time for like a few more. I think almost time of the hour.
You got anything on Twitch side, Humo?
Nothing on the Twitch side. We all done on the YouTube side?
Cars just that's another one, and thankfully it's not pony related. I've got another question. Either of you two can answer this. How do you signify a platonic relationship in the tags for AOE3? What did I say?
I don't know.
AO3. I think AOE is on like area of effect. Brain rot.
AOE.
I was thinking about like the
Platonic
space game.
relationship.
AOE.
Honestly, dude.
You would use the gen category, I believe.
Yeah, it's Jen. It's Jen. And given that I just purely have Inko and Olivia as tagged for my fake because it's gonna happen eventually. Spoiler? Question mark. But it is. There is Yeah, this Jen. It's gonna happen eventually. I made it very clear that the OC is not in a romantic relationship with Olivia, as painfully obvious as possible. I also it's pretty much another reason why I made them a girl. I'm not saying that, you know, that she can't swing certain ways, but kind of made it obvious.
Went ahead
She
and
doesn't.
put the cap on that before it even popped off, right?
That's the reason why I would have put it in bold. No OC/Olivia if I could.
Mm-hmm.
I would have put it in bold. Not one of those fakes.
And then
Yep.
meanwhile, you have my shit with a neon sign over it. Fuck you, bitch.
Dorian's fucking your wife.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I got another one from Swan. Well, no, Swan and Smoopy, I guess. When is the Ultimate Rider collab going to happen? The round table. That's
We
I guess.
seriously talked about it. No, we seriously talked about it. We've had a few people decide about, the idea of everyone doing a fic for, or a chapter for a fic, just to see how it'd be funny. To compile all the greats that we could gather. It's not gonna be all the big names. There's some people who are just not in the group because we have a group. I like to imagine, and there's just some people who are not in that group. Mainly involving a certain man and star, and that's just how it is. We have our little niche. We have our group at the lunch table, and sometimes we like to share ideas. You know, and every once in a while, someone will say an idea, and everyone will be like, "Write that down! Write that down! Write that down! Write that down!" Or someone will say it, and they'll be like, "I'll write it." I mean, that's just how Ghost in the Suit came to be. That's how Bodhisattva came to be. Or we just bully someone straight up into writing. That's how Ashes of Gaia came to be. A lot of Swan's fic just came by passing, remarks. So.
I think they were also, both of them were also talking about the, sort of like a big spotlight where we just have a bunch of people we've already had on before, just, yapping it up.
We had we had a VC session. We very rarely do VCs at all. We mostly just text. But about 2 weeks ago, we had an online VC We had Meister, Arlok, me, Bears, Receiver very briefly. Swan was incapacitated at the time. But if that gave any idea of how it went, it was it made the Piss Club incident look like child's play.
Oh, you need to get me in on this the next time this shit happens.
It was
The fuck?
really it was very funny, controlled chaos. Everyone
You-
had a great time.
And I wasn't there. Horse apples.
You were invited. I guess your mail, just got lost in the mail or something. Who knows?
Well, then fuck it. Next time, hand deliver it to me.
You know,
Anyway,
the funny thing about like a fucking like big old council spotlight, I bet you my ass could probably get up for like half an hour, go pick up like some dinner, come back, and it like it would have been totally fine. Like with that many creatives in the room, dog, I'm just gonna be sitting there like, yeah, writing, right on, brother.
yes, words and stuff.
I mean, at that point, you're just the virtual server we're hosting our stream on.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. There is one last thing I want to point out before we wrap up my little section for the night.
Yeah.
I want to just give a quick little thing. I'm going to post this, and I want to have this put on screen.
Yep.
This image that I am posting, this was the original image that I mentioned all those months ago that I saw in December. That was my profile picture for the longest time. I can't believe that this image has significance for my development as a person.
He's literally me.
If this image did not exist, I would not be the person I am today. It is that insane to think that.
The accidental repping of the colors here.
It is insane.
It's funny how the world works, isn't it? All right.
So that is literally me. That's actually a face reveal of me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
here.
man. Me too, actually.
Dude, same.
Dab me out.
Such a goofy fucking joke. Oh, boy. All right.
That bit.
Unless you've got any other closing little things you want to do there, I think we're probably good to roll into broadcasting some of the stuff from...
It's
the
time
weekly
for the
bounty.
weekly bounty.
Are we going to have to do that
Yeah.
every time we do that, Jake?
What do you want me to do? The weekly bounty. I mean, I will if you want me to.
I mean, that's up to you, dog. You're the one who just did it right now.
I don't know,
Well,
Chad. How are we feeling about the weekly bounty?
You should put on a soundboard.
Oh, man.
Because there's a few. I noticed this place does have you do have open soundboards, so you can do a few things. Like this wonderful one of me, which is someone.
Oh, I have
doing the-
soundboards turned off, dog. So
No,
I'm not gonna
anyways,
hear that.
good on you. Anyways, no, I think I want to say past remarks. Thanks for everyone who showed up. Thanks for everyone who supported me. Thanks for everyone who's ever supported me during my endeavors, and for new people who haven't heard the fic or about me. Give Bodhisattva a read. Any feedback or comments would be greatly appreciated. You can find me over at the Snoot Club Discord in my own thread. That's where I'm usually active. I am in Humo server, obviously. And yeah, give it a read. Let me know what you think. And thanks for having me on. I don't know if I'm allowed to stay for this
Oh, you
spotlight
are.
or I'm going to be kicked out.
Oh, you're
No, you can
absolutely allowed
stay.
to stick around. If you had to go somewhere, that was perfectly fine. But if you want to stick
Dude,
around, all
If you-
good.
If you want to leave,
They don't care. They hate me. These guys hate me. This has actually been the worst interview I've ever done in my life.
well, all right. You heard it here first, folks. Get the fuck out. No, I'm just kidding. You
I've
can
had
stay.
police interviews that have gone better than this, dude. And I didn't even set fire to that church.
Ooh.
I
Wow.
did, though.
Rough
Sorry.
break. Soggy.
Sorry. Oh.
Yeah, no, you can stay if you want, dog, or you can leave. It's up to you.
But if you're going to stay, we're going to go ahead and kick into the first part of it, where we'll be looking at all the art that was submitted for the weekly bounty. Now, a reminder that the prompt for the week was in honor of the glorious Mr. Streamer. That's Kev's words, not mine. and his Fang costume, draw any character in Fang's outfit. So, that was what they were provided, and these were the results. So we're going to start off with the first one here. We've got Juby. Good old Juby in the Fang fit. This was courtesy of our boy Lassiter.
Yes.
It was actually the
Very
first
good.
submission that was submitted
True.
for it. The day of, I think, actually. So
He was
you
ready
Pretty
for
good
it, yeah.
drawing. Very good drawing. Very good on pencil. I do appreciate. I think the pencil is the way to go when it comes
Oh
to art.
yes, we have some fucking wonderful traditional artists in our server.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we've got the Juby there. And then the next submission was from our boy Oates. For those of you who might not be able to tell, this is Garfield in the Fang outfit.
I'm
So
willing to digitize and colorize that, and I will make it my profile picture. So
yeah,
if he is in chat, hit me up. I'll
Oh,
make
you
that
heard
video.
him.
there you go, Oates. Got a big fan right there. Oh, I'm sure he would be super down for it.
It's cinema, brother. It's cinema. It's cinema.
Absolutely.
All right. Then we got our next submission here from Cars with some Jujutsu Kaisen. I do not know who the character is because I am not familiar with the show or any of the source material, but got a character from there in the Fang fit.
Hell yeah, dude.
I don't know who they are, but it's a good drawing.
Yeah,
Can't deny
absolutely,
that.
absolutely.
How come the shoes have rips?
Gotta let the
Those are too
dogs
big.
bark.
I think maybe those are supposed to be steel tips.
They're
Maybe.
speed holes. Speed holes.
Wait, speed
man.
for what?
It's making your kicks go faster, dude.
Oh yeah, is that like aerodynamic?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Never mind the dogs.
The dog's flapping in the wind. All right, all right. Let me shrink this back down because I think the next one's probably gonna blow the fuck up on the screen. Here we go. We got one from our boy Iron Will. He has done a clothes swap between Fang and Nick.
The blue cunt.
You do not like her, do you?
I just love that the outfit's baggy on Fang because Nick is just built different.
True. I feel like
Yeah,
I
man.
feel like this should be a little tighter, but you know, I'm just gonna sit here. All right, all right, all right. And then we've got one from V8 here. Good old Chiro. Got some Mimi representation over here. I just
True.
realized, is that bracelet like the fucking Italian flag?
I think it might be.
That's actually, I just now noticed that. I love that.
What pride flag is that, dude?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti sexual, dog.
Fuck the spaghettis. Alright, alright. And then next submission is by Ardiv. We got, this is Teresa, right?
Yes, that is Teresa.
In Defang fit. Going one by one here.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep, yep.
Appreciate the
Now-
shading for the tail. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we got another one in pencil this time. This one's from Oh Jesus Sarge. There we go.
Another good one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
We
then,
appreciate the males in the fic. We appreciate it.
yeah, if the last stream was anything to go off of, yeah, people appreciate the dudes in the fit as well.
Oh, yeah. No, I got a lot of screenshots saved.
Oh boy. Now we've got a two-parter here from Face, and these look like resprites of. This is Kim. Is that her
I
name?
believe so. From Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, from Scott
I wanted to
Pilgrim.
say, yeah, I was gonna say Scott Pilgrim, but I didn't want to like say anything and make myself look like an idiot.
It is. I believe it is Kim Pines from Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, and this one is the follow-up on it as well.
Zam!
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that one.
I will be fair though, they did the eyes thing, but I forgot the eyeshadow question mark. I don't
No,
know.
you can see it. The purple.
Is
Yeah.
it purple?
Yep, there's
Yeah.
purple
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
yeah, just a little bit. Yeah,
Yep.
it's hard to say.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna be honest. When I was putting on the fucking makeup myself, I was like, "Fuck, how far out is this supposed to go?" I don't really get any good screenshots of like.
What happened with the wings? Where were the wings?
He's gonna,
Look.
he's gonna destroy his kitchen if you put wings on it.
Yeah, that one, that two. I had to
could
draw a
put
line
l-
somewhere.
You could put like little kids' fairy wings on your back.
That
dude.
would have
It'll be
looked so fucking lame. Oh, and like if I did that, then the follow-up question is, where's the snoot? Yeah, see, where was the snoot? And I'm not about to do the fucking dolphin thing. I'm good, dude. There's certain lines I didn't want to cross that night. I was angry enough that I didn't have the fucking white hair. Ugh, that was a whole fucking issue.
Should have worn a wig.
Well, I tried to. Nah, you know, I got into it on the stream. I put like wax in my hair that was supposed to help it, but it didn't work. And after like an hour of trying to get it to work, I was like, I need to get ready for stream. I'm gonna fucking scream, and I gave up on it. But yeah, that was when streamer did the Fang thing. Let's take a look at one of our lovely co-hosts here in his submission.
Oh no, is that next?
Yeah, it's right there, Dorian. It's
Oh, there he is.
Dorian.
Hey, there you go.
With the
love
lovely
the
Damien High.
I love the Damien. Love the Damien.
I didn't draw that. That's just an emote I stole from the server.
I love that
But
emote.
I did draw Dorian though. I didn't draw Damien.
This was all Jakey
I wish I didn't even know about this one. The closest thing. No, I don't think I have anything close enough to fit the prompt. Sucks.
And then next on the list is from Wearisome, our Transformers lad. Having put I feel like this is either like
I have no idea who this is.
Megatron or Starscream. I don't know. I'm not fucking Transformer pilled, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not a Transformer head.
But you can see that he has, if nothing else, put the paint job on the robot.
You know what would be really funny? It's like one of these like robot chicken Transformer bits would fit that whole thing perfectly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right.
Yeah, okay. We've received confirmation from chat that that is in fact Megatron.
See, I kind of knew. I'll take it. Next submission is from our boy Reed. And this is Mayor Reed in the Fang Fit. So
Hey, you know what? It's got charm, dog.
it does have charm, absolutely. Don't get it twisted. We love every submission that was posted, you know?
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah. Having people out there actually like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take some time out of my day to draw something for this silly little prompt. Love
Great, you know. Love it, man. It's insane.
it. Next one, let's see here. I don't want to mispronounce the name, but I think it's Grizes. We have Martial in the Fang outfit for the Dungeon Meshy heads.
That's a very good drawing. I don't know what game that's from, but that's a very good drawing.
Well, I'll let Humo say it.
Yeah. Dungeon Meshy. Very, very good. I never read it, the manga, but I have watched all of season 1. I fuck with that show really hard. I would recommend anybody who has even a passing interest to check it out. Okay, so here's a fucking annoying part. Hold up a sec. Let me see if, okay, there we go.
You just said that, and I was about to say, well, the only anime I've ever really watched is Evangelion, and I just had a certain picture of a certain purple-haired woman in the outfit, and now I'm gonna need 5 minutes alone.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Anyways, continue.
I had to disable fucking streamer mode on Discord because the next person, their name was only W ... for me. So, next submission is from Wax FX Ver. That's how I'm going to say it for right now. And we've got this here, the Smiling Friends.
That's great.
It's really fucking good.
Oh, that's great. Oh my god, that's perfect.
And you can see in the background you've got some of the mod characters as well. You got Mimi and Newa over here. You've got, I believe this is Emily right here. Mariana here with her skinny Justin. And then you've got these three here. This one's got a dumpy. That is a dumpy and a half.
I know there was somewhere there's like a few you see every once in a while. Like they edited Charlie to be Olivia or something.
Oh yes.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
I've seen that around. Yeah.
I remember seeing the the scene where Boss tweaks out, and he's Inko
Yes,
and like everybody on the room.
yeah, yes, That's so fitting for One-Co too.
Absolutely. All right, next submission we've got from Magnum. The Demon of Volcadera in Fang's outfit. Very good, very good. I like the red. It definitely contrasts nicely with the black. Or, I don't know if contrast is the right... I like the color scheme is what I'm trying to say. It make the eye pleased. Alright, and next up we have Comical Ken
Oh yes.
with one of, I believe it's Ted's, he says it here, Ted's older sister, and I believe Ted is one character from one of the fics he's working on, correct?
Yes, that would be
That's very
Ted.
good.
Ted McManus from what is the goddamn fit called? I'm sorry, Comical Ken. I can't remember what it is. Oh shit! I gotta look real fast. Hold on, I got it. Hold on.
You got a second, don't scream.
No, I'm screaming.
Curious,
Our finest hour. Our finest hour by
There
Comical
you
Ken.
go.
I'm curious how my OC Charlie would look in the outfit now. Dangerous thoughts, Falling. Dangerous thoughts.
Dangerous thoughts you could act upon.
Oh, I can't draw people that good. You should see my little Olivia goobers.
Hey, you've seen some of the other submissions. You don't have to be fucking Picasso, dog.
Nonsense.
All that matters is you tried. And
Harlock, don't even say that. Don't say that. Go ahead, do it anyways. But anyways,
next on the docket, we have Vize's submission.
Oh yes, the Platinum Chef.
This
Wow.
would be the Humo C.
my goodness.
I remember seeing this and being like, wow, I really fuck with the digital like makeup. That goes hard. But
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
I can't say I quite had this amount of definition when I was wearing it, but you know. We kind of got there a little bit. I didn't have these good looking nugs though. That mine were fucking circles.
You had a donut.
I did have the donut nug. I still have that in the fridge right now because I didn't eat everything because I have a tiny tummy. All right. Now we've got our submission from Bikickle. And we have Rosa in the Fang fit. I know that this one definitely got
is-
some people.
This one's gonna get some folks in the chat barking.
Yeah. I like some people go crazy for Rosa. Not a thing. Not even a twinge down there.
Yeah,
No.
me neither, dog. I got you. Don't worry. Woo!
I think it's mainly because it's just given to me that's just her she's normal given the people I was raised around. That's just normal for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can get it, but I don't start barking. That's kind
the
of where I'm at.
whole unit of a woman other than the Stella wall, it's nothing really.
Oh, so Wall Stella gets you going, huh?
No.
Oh.
Fridge Stella, my beloved.
Hmm.
All right, and now going on to another pencil submission. We got one from a Joe Obama.
Hell yes. Joe Obama, also known as Jandis.
Yart,
straws.
yart, yart. He has graciously blessed us with a submission.
That would be Anton, his character, from Noir and Roses.
Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, next submission. Kind of funny that we brought up Half-Life earlier, actually.
Oh yeah, I
Because
forgot
this
about
submission
this.
is from Foxu. And we've got the free man in the fit.
Oh my god, dude! If that's how they draw Gordon, I need a scene between Olivia and Gordon now. I'd pay money. Who is it? I need to pull up.
They're in
Find
the,
them.
this, go look in the bounty board.
That would be
They're there.
I need-
Foxu.
I need. Where's the bounty board? Oh yeah. Week 1. Yeah, that is insane. That is amazing. And Foxu, if you are in the chat, Oh boy.
Funny thing is, too,
We-
they're a new user in our Discord, so they jumped in and they're like, I'm gonna slap this on the table.
I gotta say, like, they did a great job, and I hope they watch the VOD. I hope they watch the VOD, or they at least are here for the stream, because that whole one chapter, one fic at a time thing might be thrown out purely because I see a drawing of Olivia and Gordon.
Sparking up the neurons right now.
Dude, I'm telling you, the
That's all it
idea
takes,
of
man.
them, the idea of her and him, like him trying like just waving around arms, or him like giving her a Glock to defend herself while he goes off, and she's like, I don't know how to use this. I only play games. I'm a high school like fucking art student. Or like what are you saying to me? It's just so funny. That's the biggest driver to me. It's just so funny.
That is fair enough.
That is really, that is really funny.
All right, and then the final submission on the art side for that week, we have Shigo in the Fang Fit.
That is by Kevin,
And this
by
is
the way.
Yep, by our boy Kev, the one who is helping us run these prompts. Very good, very good. I'm just appreciating it right now.
Oh, I think we all are.
Oh, so yeah, that would be the total amount of submissions that we had for the week 1, which I would say is a very good turnout. Anybody who submitted, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to look at all of your works.
Absolutely. The fact that we can put something that up and get that many like creatives to come and just fucking like make peak like that is fucking insane to me.
And then we've Falling has sent me this, so I will put it up on the screen real quick.
Finish off strong.
What happened to
Anyways,
her?
Think she got bonked.
nugget overdose.
Oh, you know what?
Oh.
That'll do it.
Damn.
All right. So that's all of the art submissions. We can move on to some of the writing submissions. How do you think we should do this, Jake? Should we read every single one, or?
Oh man, we're gonna be here all fucking night if we do that. I
All
think,
right.
and I'm certainly not gonna stick around for that long. I think
Mm-hmm.
you read one and I read one, and that's it.
Okay. Let me take a look at the lengths of these real quick. Because I did not have them downloaded prior to the stream, so give me just a second here.
Do my fake. Let's just do my one shot. Yeah, who cares about everything?
Fuck them. Fuck
There's
them.
only 4 of them.
Why is this
so-
open in fucking Edge? Whatever. Okay, so this one's this long. We've got this one. How many pages? 11 pages. So we've got a 15 page, 11 page, a 2 page, and a 7 page. All right. You know what, Jake? Do you want to take one first? I'll let you get first pickings.
I will. Let me look over them real quick.
Yup. Put the titles in a wheel dial and have it choose at random. I'll do I'll roll a number for mine. I'll let Jake pick which one he wants.
I just want to say the conversations with Foxu are happening now.
Oh boy. That's one fucking terrific thing about the Snoot Wani community is the moment any fucking creative's brain starts to vibrate, there's usually something that can be done there.
I'll read. You know what? I'll read Shuhan's, also known as Jeepers Mister. You're really creepy in chat.
Okay.
I want to read that one because it's really funny.
All right,
and I think I could do the humor justice.
All right. I'll let you. So that one is this one. All right. I have it up on the screen. You can read it on your own, and I'll just scroll along.
All right. Anon, calm down. It's all going to be great. Nazir tries to talk the bald-headed groom dressed in a burgundy tuxedo, who was pacing a hole in the rug of the side of the room of the church. Anon just continues to pace, paying his best man little to no attention, incessant mumbling falling from his lips. The door opens and another groomsman enters. Reed, dressed in black slacks and a tuxedo t-shirt. He saunters in and closes the door behind him, taking in the scene before him. Whoa, bro, you gotta chill. Reed draws out the last word, a half smile on his beak. Nazer shoots him a pleading look as he throws his hands up in the air. Reed, do something. Anon won't listen to me. The raptor nods sagely at the tarot and approaches the fretting human. He stands in front of Anon's gate, reaching out a hand to stop him in his tracks. The strength of his hand seems to stop Anon, but his eyes are still cast downward, the mumbling continuing. Gonna fuck up, gonna fuck up, gonna fuck up. Reed pops an eyebrow up as well as a palm. In a sweeping motion, Reed slaps the human square on the cheek. The force makes Anon sputter out a yelp of pain, but seem to break him out of his stupor. The fuck, Reed? The hell? Anon looks at his aggressor with a hot glare, while Reed just gave him his usual lazy stare. Dude, you love Lucy, right? Anon stares at him, then nods. And I can say, considering we all here and stuff, we care about you too, right? He tilts his head to the side, thinking a little too hard on that answer. Reed goes to raise his hand again, causing Anon to raise his hands defensively. Yeah, I guess. And lastly, from what I heard from Rosa, Lucy is doing almost the same as you right now. You doofuses are perfect for each other. Anon seems to perk up at that. His cloudy eyes seem to brighten a little. Really? Reed nods, a smile returning to his beak. So chill the fuck out, man. Anon seems to consider his friend's words, looking over to Nazer, who just gave a sigh of relief. Yeah, bro. Lucy's been chattering nonstop about this to Mom. I don't think you have anything to really worry about. Anon looks back and forth between the two dinos that he'd considered friends. No, brothers. A smile creeps onto his face, and he gives out a sigh of his own. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to freak out like that. He looks down again. I was such an idiot at school around her. Made a lot of mistakes. I just want to be good for her, you know? Nazer rolls his eyes. Dude, we all fucked up in school. You're fine. Not for nothing. Dad hasn't killed you, so I'd say you're okay. Anon laughs, but there was a nervousness hidden in it. You never know. He might be waiting for me when he gives Lucy away to throw me through a wall. He laughs again, but neither dino follows. His hollow mirth dies down quickly. A knock on the door makes them turn their heads to see a Terran woman's head peek in, her blonde hair in a bun just below her head crest. Her eyes were their usual squinted look, a smile on her beak. Oh, Nani, you look positively handsome! The human blushes slightly as Reed and Nazer snicker behind him. Thanks, Mrs. Aaron. That won't do, dear. From today on, you can call me Mom.
I
The snickers
just want
grow
to
louder.
say real
What?
quickly, sorry
What?
to interrupt. I got a one-time ticket to Sleepy Time Junction. Probably should have dipped out before, but I had to dip out briefly by the time I came back. So I just want to say thanks again for guys having me on. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks to everyone for coming.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
Have a good night.
All right.
And he's gone. Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes. The snickers grow louder as Anon turns another shade of red. Thanks, Mom. The small woman titters happily, her hands shoot up to hold her face, trying to contain her happiness. Oh, my little pirate princess found her pirate prince! With that, she walked back out of the doorframe and beckons us to follow. It's time, dear! Reed and Nazer look to the groom, mixtures of pride and concern for their friend on their faces. Anon, in turn, raises his hands to his face and slaps his cheeks. He looks back at them with a shaky smile. Go time. The three followed after the small tarot woman through the chapel and outside the church altogether. Once they rounded the corner of the building, the view of several rows of white plastic chairs that were bisected by an aisle of open space. They were placed facing a large arch of several different types of flowers that made it look like a small garden above a small podium where the minister would be standing. Anon chuckles as he sees what is no doubt a large donation from Rose's nursery. He took a spot at the front of the gathering that had taken their seats in the chairs. Mrs. Mom had turned and clasped both Reed and Nazer and dragged them back to an unseen corner behind the church, leaving Anon on his own. He looked over the somewhat large group to his left. Several friends from school were sat in these chairs. Stella was close to the front, dressed in a deep black dress that had sparkles that ran up and down the fabric, making it look like a galaxy. Close to her, taking up two chairs all his own, is good old Uncle Mo. He wasn't in too much different clothes, except his apron took the form much like Reed's tuxedo shirt. Some movement got Anon to look and see Naomi, who is sitting in the front row next to two empty chairs, her hand waving fervently at him. her sparkly lavender sleeve flowing through the breeze of her waving. He rolls his eyes, looking over to see Mom rush over to sit next to the peach leech. He chuckles, just one last jab for old time's sake. He looked to his right and saw a much smaller gathering of mostly humans, with the exception of Mrs. Spears. The large T-Rex woman sat next to her husband, Mr. Spears, who was looking at me with a fatherly grin, shooting me a thumbs up. Brothers in arms with their own fangs. At the front of the various groups of family on my side, which is admittedly just my parents, my father was dressed in the suit he had lent me for the prom back in school, a proud smile on his face, surprisingly. He had told Anon all those years ago that the boy needed to decide what he was doing with his life, and he did just that. The weeping woman sitting next to his father was dabbing her eyes as she stifled another sob that won out in the end. Anon couldn't help but feel a sense of happiness. He finally had a good relationship with them and hoped they'd have a good relationship with their new daughter-in-law. Got that thought. The music from a portable stand-up piano that was manned by a Stegosaurus man in a flowing red gown started to play a soft melody that set the mood of the area. It was a nice tune that paired well with the gentle breeze that was blowing from Anon's back. It wasn't overly sunny or dark, just perfect. The melody slowly turned to the wedding march, the volume of the piano being picked up by the microphone placed next to it. Though it is still fairly quieter than it can be, that should change. Anon watches as the rest of the wedding party started to come into view from the back of the seats. As the music started to slightly swell, the first couple came walking down the aisle. The irony that it's Nazer arm in arm with Trish isn't lost on Anon. Trish was in a similar dress as Stella, but no sparkles. Once they reached the end of the aisle, they broke off from one another. Trish heading to the opposite side of the makeshift altar, while Nazer took his place next to Anon. He gives the groom a wink, which is returned with a nervous smile. The next couple comes down the aisle, Reed grinning sheepishly as his arm is held captive by Rosa's arm. He seemed to be over the moon, however, as he kept on stealing glances at the girl. She also seemed to be smiling at him with a knowing smile. She wore a dress similar to Trish's that seemed to form well around her generous frame. Like the couple before them, they split off, Rosa taking the spot next to Trish, while Reed shot Anon finger guns as he took a spot on the other side of Nazer. Then, the music swelled even more as the gathering and the wedding party watched as one of Trish's younger sisters walked down the aisle, a small wooden basket filled with flowers in one hand. The small Triceratops girl began to throw them all around the walkway, covering the grass with a sparse blanket of the floral litter. She looks at her sister with a big smile as she rushes forward, dumping the rest of the basket halfway through the aisle, causing the group to chuckle at the small girl as she takes her place next to Trish. The chuckling comes to a stop as one more couple takes their place at the back of the chairs. The music finally swells to a crescendo as the stunning vision of Lucy comes into view. Anon stood transfixed as he took in her flowing purple backless wedding dress, complete with several layers of purple and deep magenta. Their eyes met, and Anon could feel tears start to form at the corners of his eyes. She was his whole world. His gaze was broken, however, when a suppressive aura next to his love made him look. Ripley Aaron glowered at him, Lucy's arm around his. As they slowly approached, he could feel heaven and hell slowly approach him. A sudden wail from both sides, the mothers, seemed to simultaneously cause a stereo effect. Soon, Lucy and her father make it to the end of the aisle. Both have their eyes trained on Anon, who is stuck between elation and poorly hidden horror. Shaking his head, however, Anon approaches them and extends his hand to Lucy. A low growl emits from Rip, but Anon looks at Lucy and his fear seemed to melt away. He looked at Ripley with a confident look, matching the glare. Suddenly, the glare softened to one of a smile. Not a dangerous one, mind you. A smile of respect. Anon nods to the unspoken change and turns his eyes to his bride-to-be. She seemed to smirk at the two of them, an eyebrow arched. She takes Anon's hand and slowly, Ripley relinquishes his grip on her arm. He walked to his empty seat as he tried to console his wife, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Shall we?" Anon asks. "Sure enough, dweeb." The two turn and take their place in front of the podium. The minister already in place. He's an older ankylosaur, if Anon remembered correctly. Is one of Rosa's uncles. He looked between the two of them, and then began by addressing the crowd. "Welcome, loved ones, to the union of Lucy and Anon. This special occasion marks the beginning of their life together as a married couple. It is our privilege and great joy to witness this union and celebrate their mutual love, respect, and commitment." He looked at Lucy and Anon again. Lucy and Anon, you have chosen each other as partners to co-write your story as married individuals. We are all happy to see you take this step together into the adventure of married life. The two steal a glance at each other and grin. The minister looks at the two of them and smiles himself. He looks out to the crowd once more. Before I proceed, should anyone here present know of any reason why these two should not be married? If so, speak now or forever hold your peace. Everyone remains silent, Anon's heart starting to heave slightly at the prospect of someone daring to utter an objection. Suddenly, to the surprise of everyone in the area, a loud squealing of wheels from the parking lot seems to grow louder. Anon turns his head to see grass and dirt being torn from the ground. A crimson-colored car rounded the group in the clear portion of the grass. It slid to a stop next to the makeshift altar, making Rosa and Trish, along with Trish's little sister, scramble away from the car's rampage. I object! Ka-chow! Anon's blood ran cold at the declaration. He looked angrily at the car, waiting for the driver to jump out so he could see the future dead body. It never happened, however, as the car seemed to move on its own. To the horror of the crowd, the car's windshield seemed to open up as if it were two eyes. The blue oar is trained on Lucy. The grill of the car separates as if it were a mouth. Lucy, baby, how could you forget our love? We drove the world together. McQueen, Lucy mutters. What? Anon sputters. The car looks at Anon with an aloof look. What can that baldy do that I can't do 100 times better, huh? Huh? Anon says, his brain not connecting to the scene in front of him. Lucy looks at the sentient car, a look of sorrow on her face. You're too late. You weren't fast enough. Don't say that, Speed Queen! Lucy folds her arms across her dress, turning her back to the car. I'm with Anon now. Shove off! McQueen revs up as his next words are angry. Oh, yeah? Well, it'd be a shame if you had a little accident, huh? What? Anon doesn't have a second to think until he finally takes a look back at the car as it revved up, then began to speed towards him. Thankfully, Anon is pulled out of the way by Nazer as the race car sped through right where he was. A scream shouts out, making the two of them look to see Lucy was splayed on the hood of the monster speedster. Anon! Sorry to crash and run, but I got what I want. Ka-chow! Flabbergasted, everyone stared in horror as McQueen's wheels kicked up more dirt and sped off, Lucy in tow. Anon falls to his knees as everyone around him starts to panic. Ripley had started to sprint towards his car as Nazer went towards the NASCAR. Lucy. Anon felt his world spin. He had to go after the car? The problem was his head seemed to hit the ground, the shock causing him to pass out from the strain of understanding. Buh! Anon wakes up on his couch, a layer of cold sweat on his scalp. He had to get up, had to go save... pressed down on his lap inside. He cranes his neck to his side to see a slumbering Lucy using his shoulder as a pillow, her one wing wrapped around the two of them. Looking down at the other weight on him, he sees Amber, his 3-year-old Tarot daughter, using his lap as a pillow. A loud snore comes from Lucy's area, emits from the 2-year-old Green, sleeping on her lap. Ka-chow! Anon jumps slightly at the horrid catchphrase and looks in front of his sleeping family. The Sticksar movie Cars was playing on the TV. It finally clicked. They'd all fell asleep on family movie night. His head flopped back against the feathered wing wrapped around him. Eyes shifted back to his wife, her face peaceful, a small smile on her beak. He could feel a warm smile form on his own face. He had made mistakes, but maybe he really didn't fuck up as badly as he had feared. Shuffling his free hand around next to Amber, he found the remote. Aiming it at the TV, a smirk formed. Fuck you, McQueen. Ka-chow. The TV flips off.
Well done. Well done. All right, let's see here. Let me pull up random number generator. Here we go.
It was all a dream.
We got 3 more fics to go, or 3 more fics to choose from. So I'll do a 1 through 3, and whatever number we land, that's the one I'll read. I think that is the most fair way to do it, since I did not read these prior. So here we go. We will be reading fic number 2, which means we are going to read Kev's fic. I will be reading these all offline, just as a heads up. So just because it doesn't get read here doesn't mean I'm not going to sit there and appreciate it.
This is a long one, I believe.
Oh boy, oh boy. All right. Ugh. Here we go. I'll buckle in for this. Let me get a sippy first. All right. Week 1, story time. Date fast, Wednesday hard. Summary. After a rough summer of working under a T-Rex, courting a tarot, and hanging on the boat with the boys, Anon had finally proposed to Fang in front of all their friends, and she said yes to his delight. Plenty of planning had led up to this day, but was it one they could make it to the end of? Uh-oh. Anon. Oh shit, I forget that fucking scrolling when you have a PDF open like this jumps to the next page. And done, Nazar said, setting the tie around my neck. It's annoying that I was never taught how to tie these stupid things myself, but I never did have a reason. Plus, Nazar's a real bro. Glad I chose him for my best man. Yeah, I'm glad you did too, man. I may have to return the favor, he said, chuckling. Damn mumbling. Guess he was close enough to hear me after all. As he's saying that, the door behind him in our venue's dressing room swings open, and the pink Paris princess walks in. Not only am I trying to be more cordial to her, but she was almost a literal princess, tiara included. Her dark blue dress had a thigh-high slit on the side, and like prom, I'm fairly sure she wasn't wearing anything underneath.
Nazar, we need to get you dressed soon too. Can't have my man lagging behind. You look fantastic, by the way, Anon.
Thanks, Naomi. Ripley helped me get it tailored, as all the work I've been doing for Rosa and Mo have grown me out of my old prom suit Dad sent me, I say with a chuckle. Glancing at Nazar, I notice his eyes are wide and glued to Naomi, almost specifically her legs. I give him a shoulder smack, and his wings jut out as he sputters. Yeah, you look amazing. Then his face falls as he tugs on the classic green foliage jacket. I'm always dressed to impress. Don't tell me I don't look good, too. He does a quick twirl as Naomi and I facepalm.
Absolutely not. We will go rent a new jacket if you don't have something better,
Naomi says, with the same face she had back on prom night, but I do agree with her this time. Well, you got about 4 hours before ceremony. We couldn't keep the venue all day, so the reception is mixed with the greeting party, I say as I check the clock on my phone. 9:02 a.m. Fine. Nazar's head reels back as he heads out toward the door with Naomi. But if we can't find anything, I'm keeping this on. I laugh, but turn from the mirror at the back of the room. Hey, bro, where's Rip? I ask, fixing my collar. I hail the man so much, it would be nice to have a talk before the actual wedding. Naomi laughs.
He's having a soft meltdown outside of Lucy's dressing room. Miss Erin and Trish refusing to let him inside.
Well, at least we can suffer that fate together, Pops. I wave off Nazar and Naomi as they leave out the hall into the botanical garden grounds proper, a place recommended and partially owned by Rose's family. I turn the other way to try and meet with Ripley. Hey, Anna, waiting for your new old unk with it. I just butchered that so bad.
You haven't done Mo in a while.
It's been a while. A booming voice from the dining hall corners me as I turn around, seeing the massive Fossils dome emerge from the double door threshold. What's up, Mo? Having a good time? I ask him, noticing he traded in the classic apron for a perhaps too thick black suit jacket, buttoned up fully. Man, I wonder who buttoned it for him. Probably Jerry. Then I notice a hefty-looking black suitcase in his hand, with a digital lock. Oh, don't you know it? Glad I'm not having to cater, you know? He looks back and forth. So where's little Lucy? I have a gift for you twos. She's still getting ready. I'm not even sure I'll be able to see her till the actual ceremony. Besides, you can put all the gifts on the table in the reception hall. Here, I'll take it for you. As I reach for the case, Mo quickly whips to the side out of my reach. Oh no, kid. It's a real special, and I can't just thrust it out of my hands into uses. Just as I was going to try to tell him it'll be ours, Mo's head snaps up, and he starts speaking. Clearly not to me, though. Hey, Jerry, what's up? All good there? Nah, I ain't seen on the hood nothing. Just keep your head down and nose clean. I got other guys at perimeter spots, so I'll know. No, Jet! As if he remembered he's in a public spot talking to someone. He looks down at me and his toothy mustache smile drops for a second. Nah, I can't talk right now. I'll be back in a sec. Oh, you seeing the spirits? I chuckle as I look around, seeing if it was just the two of us in the hall. Ha ha! No, I's got an earpiece in so I can report to home base. I can't leave my business to be run by some goons, you know? You was one of them after all. Right. I can definitely tell it's more than that by his expression and hushed nature on it. Well, I'm off to see Ripley for a bit before the show rolls. Wanna come with? The massive Rex gets a bit nervous as he takes a step back. Nah. We can always meet up later, you know? I'm trying not to crowd him on his little girl's big day. With that, he turns back into the room he came from, suitcase still in hand. I head back towards my destination as I see a large, fatherly figure leaning on the wall beside Fang's door. Hi, Pops. Fang.
Raptor Jesus, you look good in gold, Fang. I'm super jealous, Trish says, helping fluff out the bottom of my dress. Against Mom's insistence, I went against wearing all white, one I personally think I'm monochrome enough as it is, and as far as purity, I'm far from a virgin, although only the dweeb and I know that. I glance at my midsection, the golden line of sequins rippling on my still slender flame. Nani, I think you're dressed, but why did you want to put it on so early? You know we can't let you see Anon in this yet, Samantha says from the large satin chain, the room through the squinted eyes, but soft smile. I just wanted to make sure it still fit, and it makes me feel good. The rehearsal from last week, why would you be worried about the fit? Even through squinted eyes, I can feel them narrow as she stares into me. Just nerves, Mom. I think I've been stress eating, and... At that moment, another round of heavy knocks hits the door. He's still out there. You are dressed now. Should we let him in? Trish says, arms crossed, her own dress ruffled slightly. Nah. Make him wait more. Oh, fuck. I hate the scroll. Don't be mean to your father. Come on, I'll let him get a look, Mom says as she playfully smacks my arm. Alright, dear, you can come in now. She opens the door slightly and steps back as Dad's snoot and crest peek in. Ah, Lucy, my dear, you look good. His voice trails off as he fully enters the room, seeing my golden dress and hair put up into a top knot, top of my wings covered in golden glitter. Even from a distance, I see his eyes fill with tears. Just amazing. Please excuse me a second. As he quickly dips out, Mom scoffs. What a big softy. He tried to see you for an hour and couldn't last a minute. Well, he is giving away his little pirate princess. I say. It's probably a mix of everything going on. Too much emotion, he can't handle it. He's under a lot of stress from work too, dear. Mom says, slowly rubbing my back. No, really. Cushy desk job as commissioner finally getting to my old man, huh? Well, I'm not supposed to tell anyone, but he did tell me that some organized crime has been striking Volcadera. I can't bear the thought. I'm glad he doesn't do patrols anymore, but I still worry. Mom rubs her hands together softly, looking up at me and then Trish, the latter just standing at the window in the morning sun. I think back to the stories Anon told me while he was working under Uncle Mo. If there's anything organized going on, he probably has something to do with it. If not, he definitely will take care of it. I'm sure it'll be fine. After all, it's him. Now let's get me out of this so I can be with my fiancé for a bit. As I start to begin taking off the wedding gown, an ear-piercing shriek is heard as the fire alarm lights blink, the high-pitched beep of it dropping me to my knees. What the fuck is going on? Anon, 5 minutes prior. Hey, Pops. As I reach the dark tarot, I notice the full stream of tears on his face from under his hand. Hey, I can come back in a bit, if you need a minute. I start to turn as I feel a large hand on my shoulder. Not heavy or rough, but rather gentle for the scary patriarch. No, I'm fine. Just going through the growing pains. She's beautiful, you know. and I'm gonna be trusting her with you. He looks back at Fang's door. I'm guessing he just came out. Yes, sir. And I'm gonna be the best man and husband for her. After all she did for me, it's the literal least I can do. Rip just wipes his eyes again and pulls me into a hug. I reciprocate and put one arm behind him. I feel something hard on his belt line. My eyes widen. Mr. Aaron, sir, is that a... He notices my apprehension. Yes, son. I keep it on me. But I'm good with it. You can trust me. But at a wedding? Your daughter's wedding? I say in a hushed tone. Especially my daughter's wedding. He winks. I dare someone to try something today. He laughs. I guess that's fair. Well, Mo's here to help if you need some more muscle. He's actually down the hall, but seemed to want to avoid you. Rip's face sterns. I thought I told him to hang back from today. Well, shit. Lucy means a lot to him too, so I can just not see him for now. As the groom, am I allowed to be filled in on this? I'm not looking forward to conflict today. Fang will kill me. Short and sweet version. A string of crimes have been happening in Volcadera. And they are clearly connected and done by the professionals. Organized at least. My department received an anonymous tip. It was connected to Dino Mo's, which I know was bullshit. Being so close to said suspect, I'm not on the case, nor filled in any way. Mo is/was supposed to stay low and clean until everything was settled. He glances a knowing look at me, knowing we both know about his extracurricular activities. So it's not connected to him, but the police think it is? I guess that's why he's set up a perimeter. Ripley's eyes narrowed down at me. He has a what? Before I can speak, what looks to be Nazar's form shoots down the hall past us, and then the fire alarm rings out. Water jets and flashing strobe lights disorient me immediately. Boy, what did you do? Ripley's voice booming after his son. I sit against the wall as Fang's door shoots open, Trish hurrying out. What the fuck is happening, Anon? The purple paint screams at me. I have no idea. I gesture down the hall. Rip's chasing after Nazar, who bolted after the alarm went off. Or before the alarm went off. I hear a cry of anguish from in the room, one I know too well and never wanted to hear again. My Taro, my fiancé, my Fang. I rush in seeing Samantha trying to cover Fang in a drapery to avoid the spewing water. She's clutching at her arms, makeup smearing down her face. Ah, fuck, how did this go so wrong? Then, as quickly as it started, the water and sirens stopped, and we're blinking lights. I peer out the window and see the fire department guys talking to the owner. Well, damn if they're efficient. I go and hug my wife-to-be, who's still shaking. You look absolutely stunning, my golden goddess. She perks up a little in her tear-stained face. Okay, I think this is fine. Let me find who did this, and I'll be ripping them to pieces. I didn't choose violence, it chose me when they fucked around on the wrong day. We all huff and laugh as we try to figure out how to salvage our clothes for later. Or if there's still a later at all. Ripley's perspective. The hell is going on? Why won't Nazar stop and explain what's going on? Too damn fast, that kid. I'm both insanely pissed and concerned. He makes a quick turn into the banquet hall, and as I follow, I notice the food's soaked and everyone gone. Everyone except a human, almost as big as me, just standing at the table with a sandwich. Hey, stop that boy! I shout at him, hoping his size will help me stop my son from running. What? His accent threw me off, but he does comply as he sees the terror running towards him, but instead of a grapple or hold, he fist bumps him as he runs past. What the fuck? No can do, big man. Why did... I'm gasping for air in front of him. You let him go. No need for that. Night, big man. I hear what I can only assume is a Scottish laugh followed by, out you go, before blackness overtakes me. Fang, 15 minutes after changing back into day clothes. Alright, now it's time to see if anything can be salvaged, or I'm putting someone on the ground today. Anon comes up in just a tank top undershirt and still wet dress slacks. I notice how toned his arms and chest have gotten from the summer. Must avoid these thoughts for now. Task at hand. I pulled my phone out and called Dad. He took off and probably knows something. Ring, ring, ring. Beep, beep, beep. Not like him to answer. Nazar then. Trish said he was running, maybe after the son of a bitch who tripped the alarm. Ring, 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 click. Sup, wife-to-be? Having a good time? His jovial tone immediately puts me into a fury. No, you asshole! I want to know what the hell happened, and where you and Dad went! I scream into the receiver. Mom looks at me, worry on her face. Nazar's tone hardens. I don't understand. I'm not with your dad. Me and Naomi are headed back to the gardens. What happened? Are you okay? Everyone else okay? What do you mean you aren't here? I rub my temples as I try to calm down enough to talk. Anon and Dad saw you run down the hall before the entire building starting indoor raining. Someone pulled the fire alarm. There's an audible gasp in the silence. I hear the distinct sounds of the NASCAR, so I know he wasn't lying at least. Trust me, I did not have anything to do with it. But what of the wedding itself? Can it be rescheduled or at least refunded? Ah, my practical brother. Always thinking about the right things at the wrong time. Don't worry about it. Just get here. The owner said the ceremony stuff on the grounds is still in perfect condition. And I'm getting my dress laundered on this dime right now. The only real cost was all the food and paper decor. Oh man, I didn't eat yet. The defeat in Nazar's voice was both charming and frustrating to me. Anyway, I'll be there in 10. Anon, outside with the remaining guests. Well, I'm glad the only people that left entirely weren't family, friends, or old co-workers. Not ideal on my wedding day, but better than it being cancelled. Alright, everyone. Sorry about that. I'm glad you stuck around. And again, if you know what happened or have information, please tell me or that man there. I point at the owner. Man, I should get his name. I walk and mingle a bit, trying to let the rising afternoon sun dry my pants fully. Stella and Rosa are chatting about the happenings, and Rosa seems more pissed than Fang was. So I let them be. Reed is far off into the gardens, trying to stealthily take hits from something. Everyone else is just walking around the ceremony hall where the chairs are set up. Then I spot Mo, who is talking into the air near the parking lot. I decide if anyone has info, it's him. As I get to him, he claps his short hands together and says, "Bada boom!" A large, toothy smile on his face. "Hey, Anon! Nazar's coming back to the park right about now. And before you ask, my boys checked everyone that left. Whoever pulled the alarm is still here." I was glad to hear it, but hearing that Nazar is returning shook me. What do you mean he's coming back? As if on command, the NASCAR turns into view and parks. The dark Taro, now with a solid white tux jacket, steps out, with Naomi bounding behind him. My face drops, but I decide I gotta do damage control. Running out to him and her, I give a quick recap of the last hour's events. He's confused, angry, and disappointed all at once. He agrees to put it all aside till after the ceremony. After about 1.5 hours of mindless wandering, Fang is back in her dress, redone and redone up completely, and I'm wearing a fully dry tux. To hell with the no view before the wedding. Holding Fang's hand, we talk to the officiant about doing the ceremony an hour early so people don't bake too long outside. Even though only I was at risk of sunburn. Well, I'm off to find Dad so he can give me away to you. Fang coos as she walks away from me. I take the moment to enjoy the sight of her figure and swishing tail as she heads out to the grounds. Then I take a deep breath. And then, do you, Anon Mouse, take Lucy Aaron to be your lawfully wedded wife? I'm stunned. I didn't realize I blacked out the entire last hour. Panicking, I quickly mumble a response. I do. And do you, Lucy Aaron, take Anon Mouse to be your lawfully wedded husband? I look around and see that Rip is missing from his seat in the front row. Where is he? Who walked Lucy down the aisle? I do. Unless there's any objection from the audience, I now as if from a cheesy rom-com, B-rated action movie, and teen drama horror all at once came to life. A black sedan tore through the grassy field of the gardens from the front drive loop, tearing down a balloon arch as it rampaged. I object! A scrawny, lean human with a sawed-off shotgun steps out, then fires twice into the air, his thick Boston accent hitting me right before the screams deafened me. I take Fang's hand and run into the building we were standing in front of. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, why? What does he want? I say, hands to my head as we hide in the large room together. Okay. So I look at this again, or Nazar. Oh, and what did you do? I turn and look to see Nazar slowly crouch walking to me from the further side, his green jacket still damp. Wait, green? I'm cut off by Fang. What the fuck, Anon? What the fuck? Anon didn't do this. We have nothing to do with this. As Nazar slowly gets closer, the door busts open as Mo charges in, bleeding from somewhere rather heavily. Hey kids, get down! He's panting hard but serious, and for some reason still carrying that suitcase. Mo? Are you okay? Where did you get hit? I say as we all go to the large Rex. Forget about it. He winces, but in his new delusion, he smiles at us. Well, in case it's there for old Mo, I want to give you all a wedding gift. Here you go, you two. He slides the briefcase over to us. Fang is too concerned for our uncle to care, but I, haven't been thinking about it all day, pick it up. Hey, Mo, how do I open it? This lock seems too advanced. What do you mean, as if it was the first clear look he's had at the thing he's carrying for hours. His face goes pale, and his scales clammy. No, that's not as it's supposed to be. Fucking Jerry. He takes it from me and flips open his wallet, removing a key card. He scans it till we all hear a beep, leaning down. Mo opens the case. I'm not able to see what's in it, but a heavy orange glow paints his face as he slams it shut, spewing many curses in Italian. I hear a whoosh and jolt. Looking over my shoulder, Nazar is brandishing a switchblade at Fang's throat and an arm around her waist. She's completely off guard. Her eyes go wide and begin to shine with a layer of tears. Nazar, baby bro, what are you? She barely chokes out. Quiet, you. You. He flicks the blade tip at Mo. Slide the case and key to me, and I'll let her go. Try anything and you'll be sorry. Nazar, why are you doing this? If anyone put it up to you, I can help you. The defeat in his voice is thick and leaves me stunned. No, do it now. I'm not going to tell you again. With my arms outstretched, I'm trying to calm my love. She's silently letting tears flow, afraid of what to actually do. Then from my right, I see a motion headed this way. It's Nazar? He comes to the door and seems to quickly understand what's happening. He barrels in and grabs his doppelganger from behind. The switchblade is launched from his hand as the two tussle. I hear a groan from a nearby door, then banging. The two Nazars keep fighting. Fang runs back to Mo, both for comfort and to help his bleeding. I go to the door and cautiously open it, afraid to make the odds worse in our favor. Ugh. Out steps Rip with a very bloody head wound. He's holding it and stumbling. What happened? Anon? Mo? Nazars? As if his trauma didn't exist, he snaps into cop mode and draws his hidden pistol. Holy fuck, that is a large revolver. Noticing the newest member to this fucked up dance, the Nazars scramble apart. White suit Nazar scoops up the switchblade and grabs the collar of his twin. Pushing it into his cheek, he turns. Dad, help me, get him! He's involved with whatever this is! Nazar's eyes go wide as he sees his father, both arms outstretched with a gun aimed right at him. Let go of my son! And
All right, so they got jumped by the fucking TF2 gang. God damn it, Mo! What the fuck is you getting up to? Why did you need to capture the intel? Well, if you guys want more from that, you gotta go pester Kev there. You're gonna have to go grab him by the neck and say, "Give me more."
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, I think that's probably how we'll do it from now on. We'll look at all the art and then we'll both pick a fic to read.
Okie dokie. Works for me.
All right. Well, everybody who's still in chat, hope you had a good time with the interview and the community portion. That said, we do have the prompts up for this next week up as well, which I will read out right now so that way you're aware. So for the week 2 prompts on the art side, the prompt is, your media is crossing over. Draw a Snootverse character interacting with a thing or person from the last piece of media you consumed. Games, books, or movies. And for the writers, Inko finds an old disposable camera in the attic storage closet. Feeling curious, they get the photos developed. What he sees tells an unsettling story. And those are going to be your prompts for the next week. As always, we'll probably be closing them. I say as always, we've only done this once. We'll be closing them on Friday, I believe it is, and then we'll be looking at them on the following Saturday when we're doing the next Creator Spotlight, which I will be talking with Jake to figure out who we have on that, and you guys will know whenever we get that sorted.
Indeed.
All right. Anyone in chat, be lurking otherwise, hope you had a good time. Hope you have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. And we will catch you... Well, I will catch you more than likely on Monday. I'm not going to promise you tomorrow because I didn't take another day off this week. So Sunday might not be a streamy day. Sorry. But yeah, we'll be reading, I believe, None in the Chamber. So look forward to that. Goodbye, everybody.
See you later, everybody.